featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on SiriusXM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987.
You're listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
At Valley Fair, celebrating the state of hockey's favorite sport.
As a kid, you're always watching the Minnesota Wild on Hockey Day, Minnesota, and it's always, it was always a goal, a dream of mine. As a kid, that's all you could think about. And now being here and being able to experience this at the highest level, it's a dream come true.
Brock Faber knows all about Hockey Day, Minnesota, and while the focus has been in Shakopee for HDM 2025, tonight the spotlight shifts to St. Paul as the Wild look for a bounce-back effort after getting blanked by Utah just 2 days ago.
It's a frustrating night, I think, for everyone. We got outplayed in the first period, outsmarted, kind of. Then we come back, you play a pretty good period in the second. Can't really create anything, and they score in their chances. Obviously, we give them too easy offense at times. We don't score. It's a frustrating night for sure.
That's Matt Zuccarello as the Wild try and get something going on home ice. What better time than now to finish off Hockey Day Minnesota by extinguishing the flames?
Hey, this is Nate Prosser of the Minnesota Wild.
A goal save! Rebound, they score! Prosser on the rebound! Prosser from Elk River wins it on Hockey Day Minnesota.
Stick around. Kevin Fallness and the pregame show continue next on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
Yeah, it's fun. Having kids in it as well, it's pretty special. So just to see the way every community embraces the game, and obviously excitement around the high school game and everything like that in the city that does get to host is pretty special as well. So I think it's come a long way since the first year that it was going on. So like I said, having kids in it as well, you sort of get to experience it firsthand.
Wild Captain Jared Spurgeon on the buzz around the state of hockey into Hockey Day, Minnesota. Tonight, the Wild and Flames cap off the fun in St. Paul. Welcome to the Al Shaver Press Box. Kevin Fallness with you as we get ready for game number 49 of the season. And here are your news and notes. Game number 48 was Thursday night, and it wasn't pleasant start to finish. Wild were blanked 4-rip by the Utah Hockey Club.
Final seconds ticking down as the Wild just content to sit back in their own zone. And the Utah Hockey Club comes into St. Paul, wins for the second time this year, besting the Wild here and blanking them in their barn, 4-0 the final.
We weren't emotionally engaged in the game, and we didn't have the energy, the required competitiveness that you need to have, the execution, the speed. Like, we can go down the list of what it is. It wasn't a good night.
John Hines, Wild have lost 3 straight and 7 of the last 10 at home, including 2 straight against the Utah Hockey Club. While the Wild are amongst the league's best on the road, at home it's been average at best, now 11-11-1 on the season. Why? Nobody seems to have an answer, including Marcus Foligno.
Well, Calgary's a good team. I think they work hard. You can see clearly that they're a hard-working team. They have a good talent. I think they have a balanced lineup. I think that they play well as a team. They're getting the goaltending as well, so that's why they are where they are. Most of the time they get to this point in the season, you're for real if you're in the position they're in the standings. They're there for a reason, and I think it's a strong team concept.
That's John Hines jumping ahead, talking about tonight's opponent playing against the Calgary Flames. The Wild have lost 4 of their last 5 overall and now face off against a Flames team that's won 2 straight and 5 of their last 7. They're currently in possession of the second wildcard spot in the West. The Wild 0-1 on the season series against the Flames, falling in a shootout loss at the Saddle Dome back on November 23rd. This, however, will be the first two times the Flames will be in the St. Paul against the Wild on Hockey Day, Minnesota. This will be John Hines' second experience on Minnesota's hockey holiday.
It's the state of hockey, and I think that's days like today, I think you recognize that. Like you said, it's on TV, you have the games, the outdoor rinks, all the rivalry games, all those types of things. It's certainly exciting. I think it brings a buzz to the day, for sure. You have the Winter Carnival over in my house at the St. Paul Hotel, right? So you have that out there. So it's nice. It's that time of year, but that's what's pretty cool about being in a hockey market and being in the U.S. market. That is, hockey's the number 1 sport in the state, and today's another example of why it's great to be here.
The Wild are 14-3-1 all-time on Hockey Day, Minnesota, and despite falling last year, they've won 6 of their last 7 Hockey Day matchups dating back to 2017. No lineup changes expected tonight other than in goal. Marc-Andre Fleury gets the start in net. That means another game for Kirill Kaprizov and Jared Spurgeon, both return to the lineup on Thursday night. Those are your news and notes. Now let's get you tonight's Coaches Show. For that, we bring in Joe O'Donnell.
Thanks, Kevin. Outside the Wild dress room with Associate Coach Jack Capuano as the Wild play the Flames here tonight on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Puck drop in a few minutes on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network. Coach, let's go to Thursday's game. I know you kind of like to flush you to move on, but what stood out to you about maybe where the disappointment lies from a coaching staff perspective?
Well, I think for us, we met with the team. Obviously, we've had 5 games at home where we just hadn't really been emotionally invested or physically invested. So something that the guys are aware of for whatever reason. We have to bring the mentality that we have on the road, the simplicity that we have on the road, the physicality that we have on the road back to our building in front of our great fans.
Well, when the coaches are looking at something like that, do you just look at the stats? There weren't a lot of hits, there weren't a lot of block shots. Do you watch the tape? Is it a feel on the bench, or is it a culmination of all those things?
No, I think you're right. I think the first thing, there was a feel on the bench, just kind of with the emotion with the guys. And, tactically, at the end of the day, it's real important that you want to build, you want to have your structure and you want to have your foundation and framework and how you play in all 3 zones. But, a lot of times a team that is resilient, that works the hardest, that manages the puck usually wins the game. And for me, that was a little bit, and our guys know it. It's not a surprise to these guys. They know that we have to be better at home. Hopefully tonight, after the meeting that we had yesterday and came together as a group, that we can have that energy at the drop of the puck tonight.
Chatting with Wild Associate Coach Jack Capuano on the pregame show, the Wild and the Flames, in a few minutes from XL Energy Center on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network. Network. Calgary, from my understanding, a team that's going to give you some challenges at both net fronts. John Hines saying it's got to be a work ethic type game. So is this the right opponent to play when you kind of challenge your group the day prior?
I think it's a perfect opponent. They're a resilient team, and it just goes to show you they've done a real good job over there. I mean, they're not the most skilled team. They have some skill, but they're a structured team and they work extremely hard. And just going through the pre-scout with obviously John yesterday, and I'm sure he's made it aware too. We have to win both blue paints. They're a good team off the rush, but in the O-zone, they're one of the better teams that has a net presence. They're top 10 in the league with screenshots on net. So for our defensemen tonight and our low forward, it's going to be crucial that we understand early box outs and we got to pick up sticks.
From your experience, when a player misses some time and comes back like both Kaprizov and Spurgeon did Thursday in that loss to Utah, how much better can they be now they've got a game under their belts?
Well, it's tough. You missed that much time, and it's going to take a few games to get back at it, right? And both guys are on the power play too. They haven't had the touches on the power play side of things. So I think just getting them back and having them practice. We got a couple practices now with them, and now this is their second game. So we know they're really good players, and they both will admit they got to be a little bit better than the first game. But at the end of the day, it's a little bit of a process when you're out that long.
The first 10 minutes of this hockey game, what will you be looking for?
We're going to be looking for intensity. We're going to be looking for physicality, get in on the forecheck, establish the forecheck. We have to trigger some pucks when we have opportunities. I only think we had 30 to 40 shot attempts last game. It's not going to win. We have to get our D involved in the offense as well. But just making sure that we come out with an attitude, a little bit of a swagger in our home barn here tonight, and just make sure that we stay connected and we play as a unit of five.
Lastly, this is Hockey Day Minnesota. It's sort of a day celebrating the great game of hockey across this wonderful state. It's your first year in Minnesota. Do you have any outdoor rink memories, any outdoor game memories, since a lot of the kids will be outside today and it's kind of a full day of hockey?
Oh, yeah, a lot of memories. Back home in New England, obviously, my father built the ring out back, and we obviously, in the New England area, it's obviously not the size of the state of Minnesota, but it is a big thing. And Minnesota, obviously, and I think I told you this before, every time when I was coaching the Islanders and come here, we had a lot of Minnesota guys, so you always tried to start those guys. So I know the importance of hockey in Minnesota. Obviously, they've done a really good job cultivating the sport for the youth, and hopefully tonight we can get out there and we can give our fans 60 minutes of consistent effort.
Coach, thanks for doing this. Good luck tonight against the Flames.
All right, thank you.
That's Wild Associate Coach Jack Capuano. Back to you.
Thank you, gentlemen. That is tonight's Coaches Show. Tom Reed is next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray. We've got Tom Brady here.
Baltimore had a great season, but it comes to a screeching halt when you don't do some of the things they've done so well all season. That's playoff football.
The Ravens aren't saying, well, we got beat by Buffalo. They really outplayed us. I think they're saying we had some easy opportunities and we just screwed them up.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
We got guys like Faves that just talk about how awesome it is, so it's a little different that way. So there's just a little excitement around the state and the city. Everything that you do is they're talking about what's going on throughout the games for jamborees and stuff like that. So just a little bit more.
Jared Spurgeon on Hockey Day, Minnesota. The finale has the Wild and Flames coming up from St. Paul. Tom Reed's with me from the Al Shaver Press Box. First and foremost, Mr. Reed, happy Hockey Day, Minnesota. Have you done anything special to celebrate today?
Yes, Kevin. I came here today, and that's part of it. The other
you got out of bed?
I came to practice this morning, so I was going on there. And also, it's a the Winter Carnival going on, too, in St. Paul here.
That's
So
right.
a lot is happening here today. Certainly Hockey Day Minnesota is one of the biggest ones. It's great. They do an absolutely terrific job on TV with the different games as well.
They do, and it seems like it continues to get bigger and bigger and better as going back to when it all began, and here we are. It has been a special day. I don't know how much of the coverage you took in from Shakopee, but they got a pretty good day out there at Valley Fair.
Well, the sun was shining, and that could be a detriment because, especially if you're the goaltender looking into the sun most of the period, that's going to certainly hurt you. But when you look at these Hockey Day Minnesota, I mean, what a great honor it is for those kids all to be a part of that, and that's something they'll have for the rest of their lives. And there've been a lot of teams involved over the years, 17 different locations, and you look at the coldest day was what? I believe it was 43 degrees.
Probably in Bemidji. That one was a cold. Baudette Bay was another one.
But I think John Rose Oval, that was like 43 degrees that day, so it was nice and warm. But we've been out in the cold also, in some of those cold days that we've had in the NHL here. But it's certainly a great day for everyone connected with the game.
Yeah, a lot of fun. And Minnesota boys always seem to step up to the forefront. Some of my best memories, Chad Rouse scoring his first NHL goal on Hockey Day Minnesota. Nate Prosser from Elk River scoring on Hockey Day Minnesota. That's going back now. It's incredible. 13 years, I think, since the Prosser goal happened.
Yeah.
That's how time flies.
It seems like it was yesterday, too. You can still see the smile on the faces after he scored that goal, too, and put a smile on everyone's face. Most of the people in this building.
Yeah, so you wonder who today's hero is. I mean, the script is there. It's just a matter of Brock Faber to fill it out, right?
Yeah, that would certainly be the icing on the cake.
Well, someone needs to step up because nobody did in the 4-0 loss on Thursday to Utah. That was an unimpressive result and effort against Utah on Thursday, Tom.
Yeah, but give Utah some credit, too. They've got a nice young team, and I like what they have and what they're doing with that organization. But Minnesota didn't come to play. That's the bottom line. You know, when you go to work every day, some days just don't go the way you'd like them to go, and there's problems. And I think that was Minnesota's way the other day. They just didn't have anything going. Nothing was clicking. No, the legs weren't moving. The shots weren't very good. They didn't have a lot of good opportunities in that game. And you know what? It can change in a hurry, though. But we'll know from the drop of the puck how engaged they're going to be in this game tonight. They've got to be engaged. If they're not, they're going to lose another one. Minnesota's got to find a way to get back on winning track.
The good part about Thursday, despite the losses, you saw the return of Kirill Kaprizov. You saw the return of Jared Spurgeon. Kaprizov missed 12 games. Spurgeon missed 9. Could you see rust, and would you expect that maybe they've shook off a little bit of that on Thursday and we can see a different result tonight?
Yeah, a little bit, but you just don't come back and expect things to fall into place that first game. It takes a while. Your timing is off a little bit. You know, you've been away from it, and you're not quite in that game shape you'd like to be. You certainly want to be, but it just doesn't work that way. So I'd give him a few games yet, but that means the other guys have to step. A guy like Boldy has really got engaged in a game like this. I mean, if he's moving his legs, he's great. If he doesn't move his legs, you don't even notice him out there. So hopefully he will be the leader in that department today.
They'll need someone because this Calgary Flames team is hot. Excuse the pun. Trying to make a case for their spot as one of the tough guys in the Western Conference playoff chase. What are you hearing about what they've got going on? A team that's heating up.
Well, they are heating up. If you look at the last 7 games, they've won 5 of those 7 games. They've done a good job in that regard, but they also have scored 20 goals, giving up 14. What I like is that 14 because they really have cut down on their goals against, and that's a huge, huge plus for a hockey club. I still maintain that you win with defense and you keep the puck out of your net, you're going to have more victories than you won't.
All right, we'll see what happens tonight. That's what's coming up from St. Paul Wild hosting the Calgary Flames. Meanwhile, around the league last night, Tom, I'm sitting on my couch and I'm scrolling the old Twitter machine, and there was a Blockbuster trade. The biggest news out of that is Mikko Rantanen out of the Central Division, going to the Carolina Hurricanes. The nuts and bolts of it shake out like this. Rantanen out of the Central Division. He and Taylor Hall end up in Carolina. The Avalanche end up with Marty Nietzsche and Jack Drury. What'd you think of that Blockbuster last night?
It's a huge trade. It's all predicated on money also, and I think that Rantanen, they couldn't afford to keep him anymore, and he was going to ask for a bucket full of money. We know that right now. I think he wanted to be the highest paid player in that hockey club, and can they afford to do that? They've got too many young, good defensemen also that are coming up in contracts over the next couple of years, and so you got to manage it now. It isn't just managing the player. You got to manage that salary cap, and the salary cap is going to go up. We know that. We don't know how much it's going to go up at this point, but it's sizable. But sometimes you have to make deals just to help your hockey club, and I think that certainly will be the case here, and I'm glad to see Renton go to the other side. No kidding, right? And Taylor Hall too. Get him into the Eastern Conference. I like that
for sure. I look at obviously Colorado's still going to be a very good team. They still have McKinnon. They still have Makar. But I have a hard time picturing that team without Mikko Rantanen. That's a huge blow to their lineup.
Well, it is. Remember, Landeskog also, he's been out for the last 2 years, and that's a huge blow. That was a big line with Landeskog and Rantanen, and also, when you look at McKinnon, those guys got beaucoup points. But things happen for a reason, and right now they have to manage their money more so than the player. And so you have to make decisions sometimes you don't like to make, but they have to be made.
Yeah, I'm glad they made that decision. Even though Nietzsche is still a very good player, Drury's a good player as well. To see Mikko Rantanen out the door, that's a good thing for the Wild and the rest of the Central Division. We'll squeeze in a break, and then when we continue, we'll get you tonight's starting goaltenders. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Bring home more from your in-car stations with the SiriusXM app. More than 200 streaming-only channels for every at-home activity. Music for kids, pets, even plants. Sounds for better sleep, breaking a sweat, and everything in between. Just search At Home to find it all with the SiriusXM app. At home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Chisholm gave it away up top. A long shot by DeSimone, juggled by Gustafsson, and they score.
Yeah, it's been a little tough. It feels like been playing bad a few games, and I had a few bad bounces and some good goals, and it's just tough.
Like where Gus is at, his practice habits have been good. He's continuing to work at it. I think he's realistic in areas where he can be better, but also areas where the game happens and it happened in the wrong situation. So I'm confident in him. I like where his mindset's at. We just got to keep working at it.
Philip Gustafsson, 4 losses and 23 goals against in his last 5 appearances. Suffered the 4-0 loss on Thursday night to Utah. Tom Reed has the starting goaltenders, presented by Progressive Insurance. Marc-Andre Fleury tonight, Tom, but let's go back to Philip Gustafsson. What are you seeing from him? John Hines is saying he's not struggling as bad as you think, but the numbers don't lie.
Yeah, and you're right, Kevin. The thing is that with a goaltender, you're kind of an island out there. You're by yourself. Your partner's on the bench, so there's not much he can do. But at the same time, Gus has struggled a little bit. I mean, he'll be the first guy to verify that. But at the same time, it can change in a hurry, too. You have one good save, and all of a sudden things have to pick up. But your team's got to be better in front of you, too. You need the team to make it work. Kenny Dryden was a terrific goaltender, Hall of Famer. But, at the same time, look at the foursome he had in front of him. He had the big guys out there, all Hall of Fame members. So Gus will be fine. Just give him a little more time and give him a little more practice time and get that confidence back up.
Could see Gustafsson as soon as tomorrow night in Chicago. Meanwhile, tonight, it's Marc-Andre Fleury. Very good here, especially lately, including Monday in that win over the Avalanche.
Yeah, you look at his last 5 games. He's won 4 of those 5 games, giving up just 10 goals in that stretch with a 2.15 goals against average. And hopefully it'll be good here. Now, he's played Calgary 23 times with a record of 14-7-1, which is very good, with 5 shutouts. 5 of his 75 are against Calgary.
Fleury for Minnesota. Who goes for the Flames?
Well, the kid out of Gilroy, California. That's Dustin Wolf is going to get the call on this one. He's 6 foot, 166 pounds, just in his 3rd year right now. He's only played Minnesota 1 time, but no record in that. He only played a total of 38 minutes and 30 seconds in that one. But if you look at his first 11 games this year he went 8-2-1 in that stretch, giving up just 26 goals against.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. That's Tom Reed on Hockey Day Minnesota. The starting goaltenders has the Flower against the Wolf. The starting goaltenders are presented by Progressive Insurance. Here's a riddle. What do your home home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. That was an easy riddle. Learn more at Progressive.com. No lineup changes other than the fact that they're changing the goaltender. That means still no Jonas Brodin, no Marcus Johansson. We're ready for the nightcap of Hockey Day Minnesota, and Joe O'Donnell will tell us more about it next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Four teams remain on the road to Super Bowl 59. It all starts with the NFC Championship when the Washington Commanders take on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
And then it's the AFC Championship when the Buffalo Bills take on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mahomes tries to throw late on touchdown!
Hear coverage leading up to Championship Sunday and post-game reaction and interviews on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Back to Rick. Far-side shot.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Wild, the National Hockey League, and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
And welcome to XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota, where tonight the Wild entertain the Calgary Flames. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. We wish you a happy Hockey Day, Minnesota. For those of you that celebrate, it's a great day across the great state of hockey. And Tom Reed, put all that aside, the Minnesota Wild need a win here tonight, don't they?
Yeah, they really do, and they've got to do it together collectively. It's not going to happen by one or two guys, and having Spurgeon and having Kaprizov back in the line is certainly going to help, but it's not the answer. I mean, the guys have to work together to make it happen. All 20 guys on this roster playing here tonight be ready once they step on that ice.
Wilder 28-16-4, 60 points, still clinging to the third and final playoff spot in the Central Division. Even though they lost 4-0 to Utah on Thursday, the Wild still 12 games above 500. It was their second shutout loss of the season a couple nights back. Gave up the first goal just $1.46 in, really never recovered. Outshot 29-26 in that game. The Flames come in, Tom, 23-16-7. They're in that second wild card playoff spot. They've won a couple of games in a row. A lot of the stats are similar between these two teams, and everything we've gathered from seeing the Flames in late November and now here again tonight is it's going to have to be a work ethic game for the Wild.
Yeah, no question about it. You look at the last time these two teams met was in Calgary, and of course they lost that one in the shootout by a score of 4-3. But they've got to find a way to make it work here. The record right now, if you look at 105 games that they play, the record for Minnesota is 44-17.
Longtime rivals from the old Northwest Division days. The Flames last time out beat Buffalo at home 5-2. Their 15th home win of the year. Flames really good at home, not so much on the road. The Wild kind of the flip-flop. NHL leading road wins for Minnesota with 17, but at home just a 500 hockey club. We'll see how this one shakes out. Should be a good one. The Wild and the Flames with Minnesota looking to avenge a tough loss the other night. Puck drop next from St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Meet MVP Logistics, proudly rooted in Minnesota. They're like the perfect pass, precise and reliable, delivering excellence from their home rink to yours. MVP Logistics is your go-to team for logistics and supply chain solutions. With over 150 years of industry leadership, their expert team delivers customer-centric strategies with a commitment to winning. Don't play shorthanded. Leverage MVP Logistics to be your most valuable partner in supply chain. Visit MVPLogistics.com for supply chain solutions made simple.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
This is Ryan Hartman of the Minnesota Wild.
And I'm Kirill Kaprizov. Here's what's coming up this week in Wild hockey.
Tomorrow night, the Wild are back on the road to drop the puck on a 5-game road trip. It begins at the United Center as the Wild face off against the Blackhawks. Coverage starts at 5:45. The trip continues on Wednesday in Toronto. Then it's off to Montreal, Ottawa, and Boston.
Never miss a second of Wild hockey. It's always available each night.
Exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Lock it in and turn it up. Wild hockey starts now. Wild hockey on your radio is presented in part by
Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild. Anderson Windows and Doors, love the life you see. Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. We own the night.
Soft down low, Zuccarello cut out with a backhanded try, and he scores!
It's time for Wild hockey.
Catalyst Supply Co. Building materials and install support. Boost your build. Excel Energy. Proudly powering the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy.
And they score! Right off the draw, Kaprizov.
And now, with all the action, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
That our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Press Box, Excel Energy Center, St. Paul, Minnesota. The nightcap for Hockey Day, Minnesota 2025. Sold out crowd. It's the Wild and the Flames. With Marc-Andre Fleury getting the start from Minnesota. And the youngster Dustin Wolf at the other end getting the nod for the Flames. And Dustin Wolf, a big reason why Calgary is currently in a playoff spot, TR.
And you're right, Joe. The one thing Calgary is really playing well right now, and that's what we talk about all the time about the confidence level of the team. When you start to win, and you win groups of 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row, all of a sudden that confidence just explodes on the bench, and you feel you can win every game. And that's what has happened right now with Calgary. Minnesota's got to get that way right now. They've struggled a little bit as of late. Hopefully this will be the turnaround time.
Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period. Wearing their 78s, the retro sweaters here this evening. The Flames from left to right in the opening stanza. Donning their white jerseys here this evening. A little bit of a new look for Minnesota with Eriksson Ek centering Zuccarello and Kaprizov to start. That means Rossi drops down to be the second line center. We have seen these three, of course, play together stretches previously, but a change at the center ice position to start this one for the Wild. And here is Kaprizov launching a pass up right side for Zuccarello, trying to trickle it down low. Wild getting at least one fresh body on the ice as Faber goes off. Zuccarello to the back post. Eriksson Ek from the goal line filters it up top. Chisholm rolls it the way of Middleton. Handed in the left wing corner now for Zuccarello. A little stop and go move. Able to flick it around the end wall. Chisholm aggressively along the boards. Checked there by Blake Coleman, the two-time Stanley Cup champ. And Calgary finally shifts this puck all the way down. The Wild were going for a change. Were careful not to touch that puck by their bench. And there's no icing as, again, now both sides complete a personnel change.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. If they touch it, it could have been a penalty for too many men on the ice.
Boldy looks for Liam Ogren off the rush. That didn't materialize. Coronado the other way for the Flames, handing along for Michael Backlund. Backlund chisels it in. And now Mackenzie Weegar left circle to the high slot. Coronado a shot blocked out in front. Romanov with a bid. Fleury the save, and the rebound rescued by Boldy. Here is Matt Boldy getting out through the neutral zone. Spurgeon jarred it along. Rossi floats it back to the Wild captain, Jared Spurgeon. Played his 900th career game, all with Minnesota on Thursday. Coronado now charges up ice for the visitors. Able to flutter it in. Middleton came back, reversed to Spurgeon right side. He'll sky it up and safely through center. This will trickle all the way down and go wide past the cage of Dustin Wolf. It's icing on Minnesota.
And that'll be the first whistle of this hockey game. Also played 1 minute and 54 seconds. Usually it's within the first 5 or 6 seconds we get the whistle, but it's in a little bit longer. Well, attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're going to reward you for listening all season long with the Forever Wild Reward points. Enter the code HOCKEYDAY. That's Hockey Day. You'll receive 100 bonus points in your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow.
Talked about the Wild at least juggling up their lines a touch with that center ice swap of Eriksson and Rossi. As Fleury gloves a wrister by Joel Hanley. He's able to hang on. The Flames, Tom, changed basically 3 lines Thursday in their eventual 5-2 win over Buffalo. And in the third period, they basically only played 3 lines. They didn't have enough pace to their game, according to Ryan Huska, their head coach, so he just shortened the bench.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to see with a lot of teams right now. That fourth line isn't used quite as much as you want. But when you get into playoff competition, you need 4 lines going. You need that extra burst of energy from those 4 lines. Not that they're going to get points for it, but they can do some damage for you.
Gaudreau and Pospisil on the face-off after Yegor Sharangovich was thrown from the draw for Calgary. Freddie Gaudreau's been 50% in the circle each of the last 2 games, winning this one back, and the Wild get it through center. It's thrown up ice by Pahal, and this is now an icing call on the Flames. So 2:10 gone by in the first. No score.
Yeah, and I'll go back to, once again, the face-off and defensive zone. Minnesota won 1 and lost 1, and that's especially when you're behind your own blue line. You're having those face-offs next to your goaltender. You want to win those as much as you can.
Draw to the left of Dustin Wolf, who Thursday got the win over the Sabres, stopping 32 of 34. He's won 5 of his last 6 starts, but much like his team, not so good on the road, a 3.18 goals against average for Wolf. The Flames are a couple of games below 500, away from the Scotiabank Saddledome. Hartman, a high slot one-timer, blocked to the corner. As we see, Gaudreau, Foligno, and Hartman for Minnesota, with Middleton and Faber on the back end. Ryan Lomberg now for the Flames, carrying out the center. The Wild steal. Rotate it back for Middleton. Touched ahead for Gaudreau, who is able to deflect it in. On the forecheck goes Foligno, bumping into Kevin Ball. The Flames have 19 major penalties this year, 3rd most in the league. Their penalty minutes per game, the most in the NHL. They aren't short-handed a whole ton, but they have racked up the PIMs as we've just crossed the midway point of the season. Yakov Trenyan for the Wild. Carried in right side, was looking for the late help of the activating defenseman that was Zach Bogosian. That pass a touch too far. The Flames knock it along. Not out, though. Trenyan steals. Left side, try to center. That tips free. Kuzmenko blew a tire, but did get the puck just out to center. Just feels like a little bit more spirit, a little bit more intensity already from Minnesota, Tom. And the Flames are going to get drilled here for too many men.
And I think you're right on that one. Minnesota will go on the power play. Neither team has got the best PK or PP numbers, but Minnesota's going to get the first chance, I believe.
We'll see, because the player that the puck touched, he had 1 foot on the bench, 1 skate on the ice.
Yeah, they didn't.
And they might be changing their mind here.
Yeah, they are. No one's going over to make the call. John Hines questioning it, I'm sure. And Wes McCauley, one of the senior members of the NHL. His dad was a longtime referee, John McCauley, in the NHL.
Tom, do you agree with my initial assessment? There's a little bit more jump to the Wild's game already, just through a couple of minutes, as opposed to Thursday. Here's a chance for the Flames. Glove save, Fleury flashed up his left arm on a partial break there by Jacob Peltier, a player for the Flames that really elevated up on Thursday. Got a chance with some scoring lines because of his play. And Fleury there fought off that wrister. Peltier again now for Calgary. To the weak side D-man. Weaker had to play it out at center.
Yeah, going back to your question, Joe, there is a little more jump at Minnesota right now, but they've got to continue that. I had to stop because I was watching Fleury making this spectacular save once again. He is so much fun to watch.
Yeah, all that extra jump might have just been absolutely muted had the Flames scored on that partial break. Kaprizov trying to sneak in, had it tapped free. Jacob Peltier, the 26th overall pick in 2019, just had that chance on Fleury. Ryan Husky says the best NHL game played in his young career on Thursday as Faber off the rush with a shot that ends up in the stands as it clanged off a Flames player. 4:24 expired time in the first.
Yeah, you look at the shots right now. Also, all three shots that come off the 6 of the Calgary Flames, and Minnesota's not had a shot on net as of yet. We'll see how quickly that comes up. But what a terrific play once again by the 40-year-old, oldest guy in the National Hockey League right now, and that's of course the Minnesota's netminder, the future Hall of Famer in his 21st season in the NHL.
Off the face-off, the Flames emerge. Mention these two teams very similar in a lot of your sort of general statistical markers. Not so much the analytical stuff as Coleman tries to feed one down low. That deflects, but when you look at shots on goal, shots against, penalty kill, even the face-off circle, these two teams very even as Boldy shrieks in right side. Sharp save by Wolf as he fought off a snapshot with his blocker, and the Flames look to come ahead. Coleman hauled down by Middleton. Penalty call coming.
Yep. And Middleton knows it. Great opportunity for number 12, Minnesota. Boldy couldn't connect. Here's the call.
5 Minnesota minor for a trip.
Well, he let us know what that is all about.
Emphatically.
Wes McCauley.
As usual from him.
Good referee. The time of this penalty comes at 5 minutes and 1 second of the scoreless first period.
Flames power play 0 for 2 Thursday, 21st in the league at 19.8%. They were 2 for 2 against the Wild on November the 23rd when they won that game in the shootout at home 4-3. That was a game where the Wild rallied a few times. They trailed 1-0 at one point, then trailed 3-1 late in the third. Faber and Rossi helping the Wild earn at least a point in late November north of the border.
Yeah, nice play by Freddie Gaudreau. Also baseball swing to get that puck and get it all the way down the ice.
Minute 40 left on the minor to Middleton. Penalty killers are Gaudreau, Bogosian, Erikssonek, and Merrill. Coronado over the blue line. Flipped one left wing side. Jonathan Huberdeau coming off a 3-point game for the Flames. His pass blocked, and Freddie Gaudreau with another excellent effort on the PK steers it down.
Yeah, and good support by Bogosian also getting that puck up to Gaudreau to get it down the ice.
Huberdeau leading the Flames in goals and points. In addition to the 3 points the other night, he was a +4. Here's the Flames captain Backlund, and his pass swiped away and stolen by Foligno. He'll knock it out through center.
Minnesota's got a wall on that blue line right now. Calgary can't get in the zone.
Backlund a drop pass. Pospisil carries ahead. Martin Pospisil, left wing feed. Another partial tip out the center by the Wild. They're good active sticks so far in the PK. 50 seconds left on the man advantage. It's forced in by Rasmus Andersson, chasing backcourt Minnesota's Declan Chisholm. He absorbed a hit from Pospisil and then a bump from Andersson as well. Chisholm able to dig it free. Faber right wing corner, used the middle of the ice to muscle it out the center.
Yeah, Minnesota did a good job in the PK, and this has been a sore spot for this team all season long, so it's working right now.
Foligno steals in his own blue line and hacks it through center.
Wow.
Wild did give up a power play goal again on Thursday. They were shorthanded just 2 times. At home this year, 62.7% on the penalty kill for the Wild. Simply not good enough. Kuzmenko to the point. Miromanov over for a drive. Fleury was bumped a hair on the screen by Huberdeau. It comes to the point again. Uyghur filtered it free. A shot they score. Andrei Kuzmenko tips it in with 3 seconds left on the power play. That's just his 3rd goal of the season in 35 games.
Yeah, and so frustrating for Minnesota, too, because they did a great job of killing off the penalty. They killed off 1 minute and 57 seconds, but that was not enough. It's a 2-minute penalty. You got to kill it all. And that deflection, Kuzmenko does a nice job of just getting himself in position, stick down on the ice. Just a redirect on that one. Beats the defenseman on that play, and with that, the Flames have taken the lead 1-0. When the Flames score first, they've done that 27 times now. In the previous 26, they are 18-5-3. And when Minnesota does not score the first one, in 19 games now, 20, they are 9-8-2. Face off at center ice, 13:02 remaining on the first period.
Kuzmenko had 22 goals last year between Vancouver and Calgary. And as I said just a moment ago, just his 3rd of this season. And there was a net front battle. It was not a long battle as Kuzmenko kind of carved in front, but John Merrill unable to tie up his stick, and he tipped it home. Here's Huberdeau for the Flames to Kadri. Nazem Kadri drops it off. A shot by Ball, blocked by Zuccarello, leaves the playing surface.
Mackenzie Weegar. Time of the power play goal, 6:58. Kuzmenko from Kadri.
So 12:40 to go in the first. Timeout on the ice. The Wild just one shot so far. The Flames leading 1-0 here in St. Paul in Hockey Day, Minnesota. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The heartthrobs. And the hair. The bad girls. And the boy bands. Plus guitars. Lots of guitars. Oh, and the original MTV VJs.
Mark Goodman, Nita Blackwood, and myself, Alan Hunter.
If it was big in the 80s, it's on 80s on 8. And listen at home on Alexa, Google Home, smart TVs, and everywhere on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gore, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About whatever how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Avalanche general manager Chris McFarland. What went in to maybe change that duo in goal?
With the work of our scout, Wedgwood's experience, he was a veteran guy, he's been through the grind. We were very bullish on Mackenzie, and when the opportunity came to add him, we just felt it was the right move for us, long term.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Answers.
Now 12:40 to go here, period number 1. Face-off deep in the Minnesota zone. That shot that scored the goal, the only shot they had with the man advantage, but it's in the net and they have to leave. Calgary does 1-0. Face-off deep in Minnesota.
Thursday ended a run of 5 straight games where the Wild scored first. Also ended a streak of 11 straight games with a first period goal or more. And they trail here again. Second straight game giving up the opening tally. 12:20 to go, period 1. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Wild from right to left on your radio dial. Second straight time in the season series where the Flames have gotten the first one. Ball to the left wing side. Pospisil goes back to Ball. Tapped along for Rasmus Andersson. Malmo, Sweden will feed it up ice. Touch too far on the pass from Lomberg to Sharangovich, and this is icing on the Flames.
Yeah, you look at the month of January also. Minnesota's record is 5-5-0. Calgary 5-4-0, so pretty even in that department. So I think you said before, these two teams are very similar when you look at their penalty power plays, penalty kill, and so on.
Face-offs, shots for. Almost kind of eerily similar in a lot of those general stat categories.
Yeah, where Minnesota has to improve, obviously, is the home results, and that has not been good for Minnesota. They're 11-11-1 with just 23 points, but they've also given up 17 more goals, now 18 more goals than they have scored in the first period.
Boldy to Ogren. Now Liam Ogren back to Matt Boldy. He got checked a bit from behind by Lomberg, the former Florida Panther. And now Ball serves one off the glass safely to center. Faber swatted it down. His pass was deflected. Ogren rescues it, tosses it back. Faber D-to-D, left circle, Jake Middleton. Surveys, fakes a big drive, and then wheels it back along to Faber. Up ice looking for Ogren. It went too far, and this is icing on Minnesota.
You saw a little fake by Faber also. He just looked like he was going to pass, and that you could see the Flames also got into defensive mode where they're going to go. But that icing call now goes against the Wild, and that'll bring the face-off deep in the Wild zone. I said they were negative 18 in the team in scoring goals and giving up. That has not been good for Minnesota.
That goal by Kuzmenko on the power play, just the 30th first period goal the Flames have scored all season. They've given up, or they've scored the fewest first period goals in the entire NHL. And that was just the 30th. Here's Rossi bolting past the check, and then had it tapped away by Miromanov as the puck hit the outside of the net. Good power move there, or attempt to, by Rossi. Miromanov swings it along, Coronado deals it in. Back is Jake Middleton. Flicked it into his right wing corner, that's stolen. Coronado hands it along. Backlund tried to shake free. It came side of the cage where Fleury just jumps on top of it.
Yeah, Backlund just coming over from that right corner also. To the right of the goaltender, I should say, and you can see him trying to get there, but Fleury very quick to just jump on top of that puck. That'll force the face-off to his right. Minnesota just one shot on that so far, 5 on the other side, and of course Minnesota trailing 1-0. The goal, as you mentioned, Joe, is just his third of the season, but it was with the man advantage.
Mention the Flames' road struggles. They've scored the fewest goals on the road out of any team in the NHL, 2.31 per game, and 52 total now, including their one here tonight. Well, meanwhile, the Wild, the fewest home ice goals in the entire NHL. They average about 2.5 per game in this building, and just 58 total in St. Paul to this point in the season. Eriksson Ek cuts through center ice, feeds Kaprizov, labeled along for Zuccarello. Step pass a check, centered, open Eriksson Ek, scores! Eriksson Ek with the quick release, and he labels it upstairs. The Wild have tied this game at 1.
Yeah, good play by Minnesota once again. Did a nice job of coming through that neutralized area between the blue lines and making the pass. And Eriksson Ek stick down the ice once again. Make no mistake about it. He just grabs onto that one. A perfect play also. He just snaps in that top shelf on the glove side and puts it away. But good passing play also by Minnesota. Hartman, I think, made the pass, or Zuccarello made the pass over to him. And just a quick snapshot, top shelf, 1-1 game.
Feels like Eriksson Ek needed that one badly.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jones. The entire team needed that one too, but for Eriksson Ek, that's a huge goal for him too. He needs that. Goaltenders have to score goals.
8th goal of the season for number 14, Jules Eriksson Ek. Assist to number 36, Matt Zuccarello. And number 97, Kirill Kaprizov.
Here's Hartman over the blue line. A wrist shot. That glance just wide. Eriksson Ek had 12 shots over his last 3 games prior to this one. None finding the back of the net. He connects here to tie this game at 1. And for Kaprizov, nearing in on 200 career assists. Of course, all with Minnesota. That's number 198. Behind his own net, Jared Spurgeon picks up a puck, flings it to Foligno, hand it back to Spurgeon. He'll bank it off his end wall into the left wing corner. Chisholm floats it ahead. Hartman tips in. The Wild finish a change. The Flames to do the same. 9.5 minutes to go. Opening period here in St. Paul. The Wild and Flames tied at 1. Minnesota all-time 14-3-1 on Hockey Day, Minnesota. One of those 3 regulation losses came last year against Anaheim. Game where the Wild coughed up a third period lead to the Ducks. Loose puck behind the net of Fleury, picked up by Middleton. Will shake it out to center ice. A bounce to the gut past Kaprizov. Zuccarello to bother ball, and Zuccarello came up the puck, worked it to Kaprizov, who fired one of the back posts. Middleton now a drive as he got to that careening puck, and Wolf made the save. Flames sky out the center. On a regroup, it's Brock Faber. Maple Grove, Minnesota native, up to Zuccarello, back to Faber, and that bouncing puck just eluded him. He was open, inner half of the right circle.
Yeah, I was watching Faber on the far side. He just broke for the net.
Here's Zuccarello at the point, left circle, Middleton fakes a shot, then fired one. Stick save by Wolf. Wild rising to the task here. Eriksson Ek protects offensive zone. Lost his footing because of the stick of Pospisil. Play continues, and Martin Pospisil forces it out to center ice. Or Middleton plays it to Faber, slipped back along to Middleton. Wild looking to get some fresh bodies out here as Middleton wheels it into the right wing corner. Merrill fresh off the Wild bench. Had some trouble with it and just stabbed it out the center. Lauko kept it coming. Coronado nearly had it for Calgary, and now Husnadinov to flick it in. Back is Miromanov. Run there by Lauko in the corner. Miromanov on it once more, off to Backlund. He'll laser it through the neutral zone where Bogosian in front of the Wild bench, quickly transitioning it ahead. Lauko to Trenyon. Trenyon to the back post, a touch too far for the fellow Russian Marat Husnadinov. Blake Coleman counters for the Flames. He'll push it into the Wild zone. Merrill spins out of his left wing corner, ran into some trouble. Husnadinov supports, tapped along for Merrill. He tried to cruise it free. Bogosian able to just push it along where Lauko gets it out the center. The Flames wind it right back in as Joe Hanley cranks it deep into the Wild zone. Merrill finds Trenyon. Pushed off his end wall, Bogosian. Backhanded it off the right wing boards. Husnudinov able to fight it out through center ice. Lauko finishes hit there against Coleman. And as the Flames soared back in, hit the curved glass, came back onto the ice. And so a whistle and a stoppage. 7:16 to go. Opening period. Just 4 shots per side. Each team on the board. It's 1-1 in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Scoreboard update.
All right, let's check in on that big blockbuster trade. We told you about it in the pregame. Well, Marty Nietzsche and Jack Drury made their Colorado Avalanche debut. Didn't go well. They lost to the Bruins 3-1 in Boston as the Bruins scored 3 times in the third period. That's a wrap from Beantown. Meanwhile, coming up here in about, probably right about now, the Carolina Hurricanes are going to skate in New York, taking on the Islanders. That'll be the debut of Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall. That game right now scoreless, but it is just underway. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Well, Tom Reed's hotline's back tonight, and most nights following the second period. Text in your comments at 64686. That's 64686. And one random listener will win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Wild game or dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. Good luck. And Kevin has got a little bit of a goaltending information coming from Alex Salak, who'll be our guest after the first period.
Chisholm headmans, Ogren deflects in, and the Wild try to establish the forecheck here with just over 7 minutes to go in the first. Minnesota skating from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period. Second of 3 meetings against the Calgary Flames. One more trip up to Alberta to wrap up the season series towards the tail end of the regular season. Anderson feeds Kadri. Nazem Kadri works it into the Wild zone. A steal by the Flames on the forecheck. Pass by Peltier, deflected up top. Weegar. Kadri. Kadri goes back to Mackenzie Weegar. His wrist shot blocked by Ogren. Ends up back of the net, where Spurgeon tries to pin up Jacob Peltier. Peltier won the war, got it to Huberdeau. Into the slot. A shot glanced wide on the heavy bid there by Miromanov. Now spinning Kadri. Kadri works it to the point. Good shift here by the Flames. It's handed along to Weegar. Weegar at center point. Closing on him, Ogren. Ogren trying to force it out. Couldn't. Weegar spun it around the wall. Some tired Wild players out here, Tom.
Yeah, they are right now. Just looking at Minnesota City on top of the puck. A little bit of a hand pass here, but that's okay in the defensive zone.
Rossi had fallen down and then used his glove to sneak it free. And the Wild come through center, able to play it in. Both teams finish a change. Under 6 minutes now to go in the opening frame. Pospisil deflection from the blue line, sending it deep, scurrying back forward. Faber, right wing side, blistered off the boards. Foot race here. Foligno and Pahal come together. Pahal had the better angle. Hartman, though, stole his pass. Works it to Foligno, shifted along Gaudreau. Freddie Gaudreau deep in the offensive zone. A backdoor pass, and it deflects into the stands.
Yep, some lucky fan got the puck. Nobody got hurt. That's the good thing.
.5:30 to go, opening period. It's 1-1 in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/radio and use code radio for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/radio and use code radio at checkout.
With one goal, each team with 4 shots on that. Minnesota coming back after giving him that power play goal. He scored the goal. Ecker getting his 8th of the season. Zuccarello getting his 23rd assist. And with Kaprizov, with just his 2nd game back now, picks up another assist at number 28.
We'll redo the face-off to the left of Dustin Wolf. Wolf, a 7th-round pick in 2019, 23 years of age, signed a 2-year contract extension in late July. Of course, the Flames had Jacob Markstrom for a number of years as their number 1 goaltender. Dan Vladar backs up Wolf here tonight. Coleman tries to center for Coronado. Swept away by Minnesota. Hartman carries the Wild ahead, crisscrossing through center with Foligno. Try to feather a pass that way. That was blocked. Calgary has another excellent goaltending prospect playing for the Calgary Wranglers in the American Hockey League, so we'll see what they decide to do this offseason, if they want to go with 2 young guys next year or keep Vladar around, icing here on the Flames with 5 minutes to go in the first.
Well, goaltending, as you know, is critical if you're going to win hockey games, and you can't get enough goaltenders, good goaltenders. Yeah. That's what you're looking for. There's a lot of leaky ones I've seen over the years.
It's amazing how a goalie can be, red hot for a stretch or a season, and then the next year it's like, man, maybe we got to look elsewhere.
Well, a couple years ago, Gus was so good. Last year, not so good. This year, he started good, but he's faltered a little bit now, but hopefully that confidence comes back quickly.
Offensive zone for the Wild. Zuccarello shuffles it along Kaprizov, floats it back to Zuccarello, left circle. Try to fire a chance. It deflects to the right wing corner. Faber deep in the offensive zone battles there. Then Zuccarello trying to come up with that puck. Rasmus Anderson off the high glass, and it leaves the playing surface. That's got to be at least the 3rd time, if not more, in this first period where Brock Faber has been hash marks are down. And Jack Capuano, on the pregame show talked about it. The Wild, they want their defense activated, don't they?
They really do, and I think that's the way the game has gone. And, I go back to the early 70s, Bobby Orr, in the 60s with Bobby Orr, how he changed the game for defensemen. And now we see these defensemen have to be much more mobile. In our day, they're bigger, a little bit clumsier, like myself, but that's okay. But the thing is that they have to be much more mobile in today's game, and that's where Faber is so good. He sees the ice well. He's got good shot. He's got good instincts at what to do with it when he gets that puck.
Faber leads all Wild defensemen with 21 points coming in. Here's an intercept. Zuccarello to the right circle for a one-timer by Kaprizov, but read well and gloved down by Dustin Wolf.
You notice how quickly Kaprizov gets that puck. It's on his stick for a nanosecond, and it's right to the net. And he practices that every time he's on the ice in those morning skates. It's hard to get him off the ice.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems they have with a guy like him. He just wants to be on the ice. He'll stay out there for an hour if he could, and just doing different things and trying different things and see what works. But boy, what an addition he's been to not just this team, but to the National Hockey League. People come to see him play.
That's interesting you phrase it like that, because John Abbott, who does television work on Sportsnet for the Flames, said, I'm glad Kaprizov's back tonight, because remember, one of the games he missed earlier this year, Tom, was in Calgary. It was sort of a late scratch. Kaprizov was out of the lineup. Wild eventually lost 4-3 in the shootout, but he was excited just from a visiting team broadcast perspective to watch 97 go to work.
Yeah, as broadcast, we want to see the best players in the world. We want to see the McDavids. We want to see the McKinnons. We want to see those guys and how they perform. They're so much fun.
Kadri looking for Joel Hanley, the former Dallas Star. Hasn't played a whole lot this year. In fact, scratched the last couple of games, but back in the Flames lineup here tonight. Just his 20th game of the year for Hanley. Couldn't do much on the forecheck, but the Wild still haven't cleared this puck out until finally Husadinov reaches in, tips a pass intended for Hanley all the way down the ice. Icing waved off. On that deflected pass, both teams looking to finish a line change. Rasmus Andersson right side, gains the red line, lofts it in. Merrill comes back to pick it up. He was hogtied by Sharangovich. Igor Sharangovich had a goal in the earlier meeting of the season series. Is here Rossi filters one out to center ice. It hits the linesman, allows the Flames to get back to it, and he'll rattle it right back in. So this time, from out of his right wing side is John Merrill, skating Minnesota safely ahead, gaining the center stripe and blistering one in. Under 3 minutes now to go in the opening period. Flames got the first one late on a power play, and the Wild answered things about 3 minutes later from Jules Erikssonek. Now Merrill back for Minnesota once more. Off the left wing dasher, safely ahead. Rossi tapped to Boldy. Boldy flinging it along, looking for Liam Ogren. Over in the former first-round draft pick. Spins out of the corner. Handed the point for Middleton. A long left point shot blocked rink wide, where it's picked up by Clark Bishop. His second game with the Flames at the NHL level. Recent American Hockey League call-up. He pushed it ahead through the neutral zone. The Wild quickly transitioned back the other way. Rossi dropped it off. Boldy flutters one high. Was knocked away by the stick of Wolf. Foligno, fresh off the bench, trying to dig it free. Now Rossi pressures and creates a turnover against Rasmus Andersson from low to high. It's Middleton slipping it along. Faber, side angle shot, came off the end wall. Was picked up by the Flames defense, but they can't get it past Middleton, who pinched in, carved it down low. Hartman, a blind centering feed, but that's stolen away by Lundberg.
Yeah, good play by Hartman. Unfortunately, the white jersey picked up the puck.
Just 9 combined shots here with less than 2 minutes to go in the first. Faber taps along. Goudreau up for Foligno, backhanded in as the Wild finish a change again. Anderson back, bumped by Hartman as he broke it out left wing side. A giveaway, open in front, Hartman waiting to the back post. And the Wild don't even get a shot off after Hartman was uncontested in front from a Kaprizov feed.
Yeah, he was trying to feed Goudreau.
Flames come the other way. Coleman a chance. Stick save Fleury on that little partial break. Calgary looked to quickly counter. Hartman had a bouncing puck, give him some trouble, and now the Wild are offside.
Yeah, Hartman was in a very tough position there to get the shot to net. He tried to make the play to Goudreau coming for the far side, but unfortunately did not connect him with that. Puck goes wide. Right now we've got 1 minute and 18 seconds to go in the first period. It's a 1-1 game. Shots on net, 5 apiece.
Hartman just walked down the tunnel after that shift time, and he did so at a pretty quick speed. I was wondering if it was just a frustrating moment. He needed to walk it off.
Did he come back? That's the question.
He did come back, and it looked like he grabbed a new stick doing so. So I wonder what happened to the old one back there in the tunnel.
It's probably in pieces right now.
1:05 to go in the opening period as we're back to live action. Faber behind his own net. Works it off the right wing board. Zuccarello cuts past some trouble. Wild with numbers here if they hurry. Over the blue line right side, Kaprizov twisted it down below the goal line. Erikssonek tried to jab it free. Zuccarello then shoved down to the ice. Kadri to lob it along. Peltier hits the weak side D. Miromanov. Danil Miromanov over the blue line. A wrister hit the outside of the goalpost. Huberdeau to hold in left side. Cross ice pass. Bunted out to center ice by Kaprizov. Flames fired ahead. Under 30 seconds to go in the period. Fleury out to help it along. Middleton connects with Erikssonek. Bounced it off the left wing wall. Zuccarello just served it through center, where Sharangovich, the former Devil, taps back to Anderson, and now Kevin Ball. Left wing side, hits the red line, frisbees it in over the head of Bogosian. Fleury out to punch it to the right wing boards. Liam Ogren tips through center, and with 5 to go in the period, Ball comes back, rags it for a moment, churns it through center, and the opening period is complete here from XL Energy Center with the Wild and the Flames tied at 1.
Yeah, pretty even game so far. Both these teams with 5 shots in now. Both teams with 1 goal apiece here, and they'll go to the locker room and get ready for period number 2.
Want to bet a quarter the shots change by the time the second period starts?
No, they're not going to change. They've been up there too long.
It's 5-5 in the shot department. As Tom said, the game tied at 1. Stick around for a recap, of course, of the opening period, plus Kevin Fulnes downstairs with a Wild player. A little bit of the conversation that Kevin Fulnes had with former Wild goaltender and Minnesota native Alex Stalock. So a lot to get to in the first intermission. It is a 1-1 game after 1 period of play. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Tennis fans, the first Grand Slam of the year, the 2025 Australian Open, is upon us. Sirius XM will take you to Melbourne for every game, set, and match. A dream has been realized on Rod Laver Arena. Here's Sirius XM's coverage of the 2025 Australian Open on ESPN Extra, Channel 81, and on the Sirius XM app. If you love tennis, your center court is Sirius XM.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA, Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us, and I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada face-off associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Now we're talking about two of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Order. Flames on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Kevin Fulmus with Jakub Loko. I tell you, Jakub, after that first period, much different than what we saw Thursday. Feels like a much better effort. What are you seeing out there on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, we had to step up our game. It wasn't ideal and wasn't any good the last game, especially at the start. So, they scored a power play goal, but I think we spent most of the time in their end, and we just need to push the pace, be more intense, and just be better overall. But I think we are on a great good path.
Like you said, they did score the first goal of the hockey game, but you guys responded right off the bat with Jules Eriksson's 8th of the season, set up by Matt Zuccarello. The goal was one thing by Ecker, but how about the setup? What's your appreciation as a young guy in this league for what Matt Zuccarello does on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, he's there's no chance that that he plays in this league that long. Like he's a special player. Not many guys in the league are playing with that kind of vision that he has, and the offensive instinct that he brings to the game. Like he doesn't need to skate that fast or doesn't need to be that quick, but his hockey IQ and hockey sense is on the extremely high level, and it's a pleasure to watch him play.
Fourth game back from injury, dealing with that lower body issue. You get back in there, and unfortunately you had a lot of company in the training room while everyone was dealing with those injuries. Feels like everybody's starting to get back. You're not full strength yet, still missing Brodin, you're still missing Johansson, but nice to get the guys back out there on the ice, knock some rust off.
Yeah, obviously, it's always better to be with a team, and just spend time in the gym and in the rehab room with other guys. So it's definitely I'm happy, and hopefully Broads and Jojo can get healthy soon, and we're going to be in a full strength again.
Has anybody offered you a happy hockey day in Minnesota yet today?
No, it was a couple talks in the locker room for the guys who experienced the first time, but that's all the internal things in the locker room.
Awesome. Well, happy hockey day, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Go get them in the second period and beyond.
Thank you.
There you go. Jakub Lauko joining us in the intermission. For doing so, we'll get him a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. 1-1 is the score after one period of play. We'll hear from Alex Stalock next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
As a business leader, every day brings countless decisions. Some big, some small, some easy, and some you need to sleep on. Work with a banker who gets you, gets your business, and can help you make the right decisions to meet your goals. So you're not just navigating between choices, you're planning your success. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
When cleaning a jewel, it's important to rub and wash the jewel repeatedly. Perhaps that's why every team in the league has taken to giving hard-working Wild forward Jewel Eriksson Ek a face wash. A small price to pay to add a little polish to your game. Jewel Eriksson Ek. Not weird. Wild.
Whether it's a division collision with the Blackhawks or a battle with the Flames, the Wild look forward to you bringing the noise to XL Energy Center. Buy your tickets today at wild.com/hockey tickets. Before we hear from Alex Stalock, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
The biggest names in the game.
Quickly in. Here's Giroux going to the net. Shoots one. He's caught!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Alex Stalock, he's now on the television side working for FanDuel Sports Network. He's also doing a little radio work out there in San Jose for the Sharks Radio Network. But what about the Alex Stalock that we all know? The guy that played for the University of Minnesota Duluth and the guy that used to don the pads there, including for the Minnesota Wild in his NHL career. Well, we got a chance to catch up with him earlier today on Beyond the Pond. Have you heard about that? 10 to noon every Saturday with myself and Pat Micheletti. This morning we checked in with Alex Stalock to talk about a variety of topics, including his appreciation for another fellow goaltender who happens to be in goal tonight for the Minnesota Wild. How about that Marc-Andre Fleury?
It's incredible. I remember sitting in the seats watching him when he was with Pittsburgh as a rookie. God, I would have been probably 15, 16 years old. He had the yellow pads, and it was just incredible. And he's still in the league, which is amazing. And it goes back to his compete level. He is so dang competitive. He loves the game of hockey. And not only does he love the game of hockey, you see what he does off the ice with his teammates. Every teammate says good things about him. They want to be around him. People want to be around him. He has that aura to him. He has that Hall of Fame aura, right? I mean, it's just, he's the flower, and he's someone you definitely want in your locker room. And it's, I mean, you can't say enough about him. And I watch, post-game press conference, he talks about being pissed off after the game. I think he was referring to the Nashville game. And I think he's the only human I've ever heard say how pissed off he was, but he still had a smile on his face. I was like, how is this even possible? It just shows the type of guy he is. I love watching him, and I'm so excited to watch tonight's game. You got a young kid in Calgary, Dustin Wolf, who's got a really good chance at winning Rookie of the Year with an unbelievable rookie class against Flower, who they're both guys that aren't monsters in this league. Smaller guys that are athletic freaks that play a fun game of hockey, and not a lot of times you go and watch the goalie at an NHL game. You want to watch the All-Stars. You want to watch the Kaprizovs, the McKinnons, all these guys. But these two tonight are you're not going to see a matchup like this for a long time, so I'm excited to watch.
So let me ask you, did you put the pads on last night in the Alumni game?
Pat, how far do you want me to allude on that game?
I better be careful. I don't know who won. Go ahead.
Wait, Alex, let me give the listeners the background. If they weren't listening last week, we had Paul Martin on, the former Golden Gopher, and he was pumping up the fact that the only reason he wanted to play in this Alumni game last night in Valley Fair as part of Hockey Day Minnesota was the opportunity to shoot on you. Former Gophers against former college players. They had a stack lineup for the Gophers, and you were between the pipes there for the Alumni for the college hockey players.
The lineup that was stacked was the All-Star team put together.
They had a pretty good one as well. So give us kind of the breakdown. What happened last night?
So it's so funny how both sides. Oh, you guys had a stack line. Oh, you guys had a stack line. You guys had guys that just got done playing. Blah blah blah. I mean, it was super fun. Like just to be outdoors and in the line. Paulie did a ton of work putting this together. That's Paulie Martin, obviously.
Yep.
And, the group of guys. For the collegiate All-Stars, we had players from the colleges, the universities around the state. So we had Duluth represented, we had Bemidji State represented, we had Mankato represented, St. Cloud, and we did let a couple North Dakota players in. Zach played, Lee Gorin played. So we had some North Dakota in there. But it was a ton of fun against. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Bonnet and Crowley and the Leopolds and Martins and watching them win national championships. It was so cool to be on the ice and play against them. It was quite the experience, and to be honest, it felt good to win one more time against the Gophers, and hopefully that's the last time that we have to do it as a group, because I know in our locker room after the game it felt really good to beat the Gophers one more time.
I'm glad I wasn't there.
Yeah, right? The roster sounded amazing. I was more intrigued with the guys that you had behind the bench. All three Broughton brothers were represented?
Correct. Yeah, they were behind the Gopher bench. Yep, they were. Yes, they were behind the Gopher bench, helping them out. Looking for a lot of power plays, but they didn't get any. And then we had Troy Judding, John Harrington, and Gordy Roberts behind our bench, they did a tremendous job. We had some of the players' kids doing our equipment staff, so it was a ton of fun. Huge family night for the kids to come out, and Shakopee's done an unbelievable job this weekend. I can't believe the moving parts they have, all the little details they take care of, and they made it so easy for us players to come in there and have a ton of fun and enjoy the night, as for sure.
Just a portion of our conversation from earlier today with Alex Stalock. It's called Beyond the Pond. Catch it each and every week, 10 to noon on KFAN, the flagship for Minnesota Wild Hockey. You can also go podcast it on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Just look up Beyond the Pond on KFAN. As for your Wild, they're knotted up at a goal apiece with the Calgary Flames. Jules Eriksson tied the game at 1, 9:34 into the first, with Zuccarello and Kaprizov getting the assist. That's where we sit through 20 minutes, 1-1 in St. Paul. The second is next. Happy Hockey Day, Minnesota. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity. But at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He scored!
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout. Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. What? With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save. So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done? Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account. That's a flex. This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Back for the second period. It's the Wild and the Flames tied at 1.
Did you get held up by the crowd? We just got back here just in time with 2 seconds to go.
I know how Kevin Fulnes works things, Tom. He's not going to give us more than a dozen seconds for any period.
He's been doing that for years.
So here we are. And I've heard through the grapevine it used to drive my predecessor, the great Bob Kurtz, a little crazy.
It certainly did.
He'd like a little more time to reset before the puck drop.
You're right.
Me, I'm okay. Zuccarello punches it in from center, and we are underway in the second period. Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Flames from right to left. Top line starts for Minnesota. Kaprizov handing it off to Eriksson. Back along to Kaprizov. Used his glove to sort of punch it down. And then found Faber at the right point. Rolled back to Kaprizov. Now Zuccarello twisting out of the right wing corner. That's Zuccarello. Behind the net for Eriksson. Bounced along. Nicely kept in by Faber with his skate. He'll play catch with Kaprizov. Faber now to the left side. Middleton. High slot. Zuccarello. Long shot block. Kaprizov a bid. On that secondary chance fought off by Wolf. But a great start for Minnesota in the second.
Yeah, it certainly is good. Puck possession in the offensive zone.
Kaprizov to Zuccarello. He's open. High slot. Left side. Eriksson dancing with it. Back to Zuccarello for a shot. I believe was blocked in front. Puck rotated to the point. Middleton hammers it down low. Anderson got a chunk of it. Ball trying to fire it out. Faber pinched in, and the Wild stay in business. What a shift to start period 2. $1.05 basically all in the offensive zone for the Wild. Faber twirls it to the right point. Zuccarello hacked one towards the front of the net. It came to Faber, but he kind of golfed at it with nobody around, and the Flames finally get the puck in period 2. Kadri comes through center, knifes it in.
Yeah, but a minute and 20 seconds in the offensive zone right from the drop of the puck.
Spurgeon swings it to Chisholm. Declan Chisholm up ice for a tip in by Ogren. Wolf uses goal stick to flutter it away from trouble. Weegar wheels it along. Miro Manoff off the dasher right side. Flames just get it out to center. Chisholm skies it back in. Boldy clears his own and directs Ogren to go in on the forecheck. Flames use a long pass through center. Coleman had his pass stolen for a moment. Backlund now in the slot for Coronado's wrister, and that's stopped and held on to by Fleury.
Well, Minnesota wound up with just one shot on net in this second period. The same with the Flames right now also, but Minnesota did a good job really moving the puck, moving their feet, and making some good things happen.
Rossi with 3 to his left, Spurgeon to his right, and on this offensive zone draw, Sharon Govich deals with him. Sharon Govich won it to Pospisil, and now Joel Hanley at the left point. Swerves it around the Wild net. Lomberg and Spurgeon come together. Chisholm joins the scrum. It's poke loose where Boldy will scurry to it, and then flick a backhander off a body that comes right back to him. So now Boldy to Spurgeon, a left wing pass eluded Chisholm. Declan Chisholm does finally get to this puck. He'll lift it along for a tip-in by Boldy right side. Minnesota changing on the fly. Joel Hanley back out of Keswick, Ontario, and up ice pass for Lomberg. Tips it in. Fleury leaves it there for Spurgeon. Rattled around left wing side, Boldy. Nifty pass along. Goudreau flopped it up ice to Foligno. Back to Goudreau. Has a lane right side with a slap shot. Wolf got about 98% of it. And then it's skittered around the goal mouth. The Flames clear out the center. Kuzmenko has the Calgary tally. Demir Omanoff off the rush, a wrist shot deflected away into the netting by the goal stick of Fleury.
Good start by both these teams in the second period. Minnesota's got the edge here right now, I would say, in this one, Joe. You look at the way they have played coming into period number 2, and you always wonder what's going to happen in period number 2. When they're tied after the first period, the Flames are 8-6-3. Minnesota's 7-5-2, but those numbers don't mean anything to the players right now. All they care about is getting that next goal and go on from there and get the win in this one. Right now the face-off is deep in the Minnesota zone to the left of Marc-Andre Fleury in his 21st season in the NHL.
Second period's been a bit of a struggle lately in the goals against department for Minnesota. They've given up a second period goal or more in 14 of the last 15 games. The only time they didn't allow a goal in the second period was when they shut out the Hurricanes in Raleigh earlier this month. A battle in the Flame zone for a loose puck. Goudreau and Foligno there for Minnesota. Bishop is in there for Calgary. It's stoked free for a moment. And now the Flames are able to come along with Mackenzie Weegar. The other part of that trade for Matthew Tkachuk, it was Huberdeau and Weegar, the two big pieces the Flames acquired for Tkachuk. Shots are 7 apiece. The Wild break it out of their own zone. Goudreau taps in. Minnesota changes on the fly. Flames had just gone for a personnel change on that last sequence. Huberdeau now dances ahead. Jonathan Huberdeau, a drop pass. It comes through the slot for a wrister by Pahal, the weak side D. That was blocked to the corner. Huberdeau, Kadri, and Peltier for the Flames. Minnesota defending out here with Faber and Middleton. And the Hartman, Lauko, and Hustadinov out up front. Minnesota didn't complete a whole-scale change on that last time they went off, as Hartman's still trapped out there. Joel Hanley at center. Swings it back. Pahal up for Peltier. He'll fling it along where it's tapped in by the Flames captain Backlund. Minnesota clean breakout. Middleton to Hustadinov. Wheeling along. Found Trenyon trying to cut out right circle. Had it stripped away by Kevin Ball, who skies out the center. Backlund over the blue line right side, tosses it in. Blake Coleman to pick it up. Faber staples him to the glass. Grabbing it, Spurgeon, a right wing feed. Trenyon turns to his backhand, scoops it free. Hustadinov to Lauko. Jakub Lauko flutters it in. Back is Ball. Lauko ran him into the end glass. And that was a dangerous collision. And Ball is hurt, and Lauko's going to go to the box, and now he's getting jumped here by a couple of white jerseys. Ball is sitting up. That's a good sign. And we'll see what the indication is from the officials with 4:40 played in the second. Tom, your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't see the referee initially signal a penalty in that play. It looked like an ugly hit, though, to me, and I think he's going to be okay. He's looking up right now, but you can see Lauko coming in behind him there, trying to get on the side of him, and Ball just kind of turned the opposite way, like he's going counterclockwise in that turn, and Lauko got a piece of him, pushing him in the boards, and he really didn't have a chance to get his arms up to protect himself. So we'll have to wait and see what they're going to call on this. But there's going to be a penalty on the Calgary side also.
Yeah, and that's a tough break for the visiting Flames because, they saw what happened to Ball. They didn't like it. And Anderson, with the linesman already trying to usher Lauko away from any potential scrum, came in and threw a shot. So at least one penalty to Calgary. Ball's on his skates and slowly making his way to the Flames bench under his own power. The officials talking about at the scorer's table. So some form of a boarding penalty, I'd imagine, to Lauko. You could see Ball took a look over his right shoulder, saw Lauko bearing in on him. And you're right, Tom, at the last moment, those defensemen, are they going to go around the net? They're going to cut back into the corner? He elected to cut in the corner, and Lauko caught him numbers first.
Yeah, and so often what he's trying to do is just separate the player from the puck to have your teammate come in to pick up that loose player. So Lauko, and he plays hard. I mean, he goes hard.
We have a 5-minute penalty on the play. We'll now go to review.
So they're going to call the boarding penalty, I would think, as a 5-minute major, and we'll see what they come up with. It could be a game misconduct because of that. We'll wait and see for the officials to make those decisions. We've been in those situations also where you get hit, you're not expecting it, and you go in, and sometimes your head just kind of snaps towards that glass. We don't see as many of the concussions today, Joe, that we saw before, because the glass is not as heavy as a plexiglass. So it doesn't have that weight to it, which makes a huge, huge difference. And if you notice the boards also, there's springs at the bottom of the boards and springs at the top, so there's a lot of give in there, so you're not hitting a rigid wall each time you go into it.
So all this with 4:40 played in the second period. Tom, what was it like getting checked into the old school glass?
It wasn't much fun, believe me. My very first game I ever played was in St. Louis. I was with a junior team of the Chicago Blackhawks, and they brought me up in the playoffs to play for their farm team in the CHL. And the ends were glass, the sides were chicken wire.
Chicken wire. I thought you might say that.
Well, and they were. I mean, so when you run a guy into it, you want maybe a little push in the head. Here's the call, I think. No, they're still discussing here. But Wes McCullough will make this. He'll be good.
Okay, we got 94. Minnesota's got a minor for a board. 13 Minnesota, a minor for rough. 4 Calgary, minor for a rough. 2 minutes.
Well, Lauko not thrown out.
No,
that's certainly a good sign for the Wild.
That's a huge board, and I would agree with them. And you know what I like is the officials getting together. They've got the iPad down there. They can see what's happening. They're in conjunction also with the people in Toronto watching this. So Minnesota will be shorthanded in this contest.
So the coincidental roughing minors after the initial hit, Lauko on Ball. Anderson for the Flames, Trenyon for the Wild. So those two kind of cancel each other out. The 2-minute minor for boarding the Lauko after the review initially called a major penalty. So Flames get their second power play of the night. Ryan Huska's got his right palm up in the air. He's, of course, not in agreement with the call. We'll keep our eyes posted on the status of Ball, who had to go back to the dressing room. I'm sure the spotter, if not just the athletic training staff of Calgary, saying, going to have to take a look at you back in the dressing room area. So it's a 1-1 game. Flames power play 1-for-1. They're 3-for-3 now in the season series, which is about 4+ periods in between these two teams. They were 2-for-2 November 23rd in Calgary, 1-for-1 tonight. Freddie Gaudreau, another excellent play on the penalty kill. Able to wrestle a puck free and send it down.
Yeah, he is so good in the PK because he is so tenacious out there. Just to make sure he gets that puck, gets it down, and goes right to the bench. Flames carry ahead. Sharangovich over the blue line, forced to pass to Kadri. Kadri trying to trickle it back. Foligno broke it up, shifts it along Hustadinov. He'll roll it to the right side. Bogosian smacked it up ice. It tips and ends up in the stands about 20 or so rows deep. Someone got a free puck. Hopefully didn't hit anybody. Don't see any movement down there, so I guess they're going to be okay, which is a good thing. Face off outside the defensive zone of the Calgary Flames.
Both teams in the first half of a back-to-back. The Flames play in Winnipeg tomorrow, and guess who's not playing tonight? The Winnipeg Jets. The Wild are in Chicago tomorrow to take on the Blackhawks. Guess who's also not playing
tonight? Chicago Blackhawks.
Hustadinov, back of his cage. The Faber right side. He'll muscle it down. So 50 seconds left on the extra penalty. As Lauko picked up the boarding minor. Trenyon and Anderson roughing calls for their respective sides. 7 shots per team. That's it, with almost 7 minutes played now in the second period. Gaudreau, another clear down right side. Wild penalty kill. Boy, been pretty good. But then the Flames, with 3 seconds left on their first minor, threw a puck to the net, and Kuzmenko tipped it in. That was way back in the opening period at the 6:58 mark. Here's a steal centered by Bogosian. Numbers for the Wild shorthanded. Now Bogosian will just hang back as Gaudreau carries in. Freddie Gaudreau right side with a sea of white swarming around him. Just floats it deeper into the Calgary zone.
Yeah, and his job just kill the clock as much as you possibly could.
So the Wild get back to full strength as Kuzmenko tries to dart in. He's leaned on by Middleton to the left of Fleury. Puck skittered free and then deflects loose. Bogosian carries ahead, fires a pass to Hustadinov. Marat Hustadinov spun up left side, dances down low now. Hustadinov again to curl up. He'll feed the point Chisholm. Right point now, Spurgeon, a shot tipped by Foligno. It leaks in where Wolf has it in his glove. 12:58 left, second period in St. Paul. The Wild and the Flames tied at 1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hear the NFL Conference Championship games on SiriusXM. Tomorrow at 3 Eastern, Jaden Daniels' Commanders face the Eagles in the NFC Championship.
Touchdown! Saquon Barkley!
Then at 6:30, it's the AFC Championship as Josh Allen's Bills take on the Chiefs.
An 11-yard touchdown! Playoff Pat to playoff Kelsey!
Find the channel numbers at SiriusXM.com/NFL schedule or search for the teams on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Well, not a lot of goals in this game, just one apiece right now. Not a lot of shots either. 8 by Minnesota, 7 by the Calgary Flames. But right now, Minnesota able to kill off that last shorthanded situation they were in. But the faceoff will be deep in the Calgary zone. The left of their netminder, and of course you've got to give your goaltender a lot of protection. Dustin Wolf, 6 foot, 166 pounds, a little bit light from a goaltending standpoint.
Off the draw, the Flames with Anderson springing it around. Coleman chunked it ahead. Chisholm with a backhanded pass to Spurgeon and a return feed along the deck on Chisholm. Once more now for Spurgeon. Slaps it up ice. Kaprizov fluttered it free. Zuccarello hooked a bit. Penalty call coming. Spurgeon tries to tap this puck free from the dasher right side, and the Flames touch up.
Minnesota gets a power play.
Congratulations to tonight's Fanatics Seat Upgrade winners. These fans have this seat upgrade courtesy of Fanatics.
Well, if he talked, we didn't hear it.
Congratulations, y'all. You're looking real good in those seats.
A little bit of a hook in the hands of Zuccarello along the boards. Doesn't take much these days, Tom. Back in your day, you would have sneezed and taken a penalty if they were calling things like this.
Give you a penalty shot. This one coming at 7:23.
Number 44,
Hanley, the guilty party.
7:23. It's an action.
Off the draw, Uyghur bashes one down. Wild power play was 1 for 3 against Calgary on November the 23rd. They were 0 for 3 Thursday, a couple nights back against Utah, 24th in the league. In the month of January, 4 power play goals scored, 8 allowed. That's up to the second for the Minnesota Wild. It's Kaprizov with a pass, blocked. Boldy now rolls it along right side. Eriksson tapped along Kaprizov, fluttered it to the point. Spurgeon angled to the Boldy outside the left circle, tried a cross ice pass, and that deflects into the netting.
Yeah, Spurgeon had the right idea. He was trying to go to Kaprizov, who's on the right side there. Kaprizov going to the bench, I believe, to get another stick. It appears. Let the puck deflect into the netting. So Kaprizov has the next, I don't know, maybe this is a shooting stick rather than a passing stick.
Off the draw, which the Wild controls. Spurgeon across the blue line. Rolls it to the left side. Zuccarello, a shot knocked down by the glove of Wolf, and the rebound paddled all the way down.
Yeah, but the fact there's a rebound there also, Minnesota just could not get to it.
Flames penalty kill was 6 for 6 when they beat the Sabres Thursday night. Brian Huska said it was the difference in the game, the team's penalty kill. But they are just 29th in the league, as a bank shot here nearly gave Wolf some trouble. He was able to snare it with his glove, and his defense clears down.
But, Joe, so often we see a game decided because of a power play, because of a penalty kill. Just the nature of the beast, the way it is played today.
Flames scored 2 shorthanded goals Thursday in that 5-2 win. Something they hadn't done in about 6 years. 2 shorties in the same game. 35 seconds left on this power play for Minnesota. A loose puck. Spurgeon has to kind of just hold his ground as Huberdeau gets to it, chops it to Miromanov, back to Jonathan Huberdeau. Huberdeau with a pass that was swiped away partially by Zuccarello. Miromanov now a long bid. Glove down by Fleury, paddled along for Faber. Just a dozen seconds left on the man advantage as Faber skates backwards, ahead through center ice, and left it back for Rossi to gain the red line and snap in. Sharangovich to Anderson, and hold Frisbee it down. So not much there on the Wild power play. Hanley's out of the box. Ryan Hartman on a neutral zone reset. Turned it over. Clark Bishop carries ahead. Bishop had 33 points in 39 AHL games prior to the call-up. He loses it to Faber. Right point holding in was Pahal, but he fanned on his opportunity. The Wild have a 3-on-2 if they want it. Over the blue line, barely onside. Rossi left it to Hartman for a shot. Stick save Wolf. Jam back out in front of the rebound by Ogren. It leaked just wide. Hartman feeds the point. Faber a bit. That never got through. Ogren hustles to it. Hanley to tie him up. Sharangovich and Hartman join the fray from their respective sides as we've hit the midway point of regulation. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. A 1-1 game, the Wild and the Flames on Hockey Day, Minnesota 2025. Hartman jammed the loose puck back to the point, and it eludes Faber. He has to chase back through center. Both teams get a couple of fresh players out as Faber was looking for Hartman. They wave off ice. Initial indication would be a halt in play. It gets waved off. Is the Wild able to finish that line change now with Hartman in on the forecheck, hounding Hanley. Flames knock it through center. Kadri into open ice for Pospisil at a goal in the earlier meeting of the season series. He tried to twist the return feed for Kadri. Went a touch too far. Trenyon steps past some trouble. Tries to poke it along. Good close there by Miromanov. Kept him at bay. Gap up at center ice by Merrill. Slows down the Flames for a moment. Now Kadri, the former Stanley Cup champion with the Avalanche. A right wing pass. Kuzmenko, the big Russian, sends it in. Bogosian a tap along and John Merrill. And now we got a fight. It's Lauko and Lomberg. Lomberg didn't like that hit. Lauko through. Lomberg comes right after him. Some big rights by both sides. Lauko's got Lomberg pinned up along the Flames bench now. Couple of rights by Lomberg. Good middleweight scrap here. Lomberg trying to twist Lauko around. An uppercut overhand combo. Lauko then fired to right. Good tilt here at center. Left by Lauko. Brown loving it. Right uppercut by Lomberg. Came with the left net as well. Another right by Lomberg. Then he tried to come with the left. Lauko's got him tied up well, and they'll jump in and separate him.
Yep, answering the bell, and that's what you do. And so Lauko, he's not afraid to jump into it. He does a great job also. He likes that feisty type of a game. Looking to see if they're having a little conversation on the player penalty boxes down there. Doesn't appear to be the case, but each of the teams have their fellow teammates coming over congratulating them on the fight, but no damage done.
Well, Lomberg was trying like all heck to wrestle that helmet off of Lauko, as that was a spirited bout at center. 8:58 to go, period 2. It's 1-1. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful.
Hi, this is Matayo. And this is Elsa. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. Because the spice comes in at just the right moment.
Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Order a Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich and a Diet Dr. Pepper on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Scoreboard update. Games in progress include at New York, the Hurricanes and Islanders. Hurricanes with a 2-1 advantage. Nothing from the new guys yet, but Roslovic has his 18th of the year. Sebastian Aho his 16th. They're through one period of play. They're midway through the second in St. Louis, where the Stars hold a 2-0 lead over the Blues. Kings and Blue Jackets knotted at a goal apiece. Red Wings with a 1-0 lead at home against the Lightning. Maple Leafs and Senators knotted at 1 apiece. They are midway through the second. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
And Minnesota's taking the lead in the shots department here, Joe. 10 shots now so far, and we've done more than half the game has gone over in time. And you look at the 8 shots on the other side. Face-off right now is going to be deep in the Minnesota zone. 5-on-5. Both players putting up the 5-minute major penalties for fighting.
TV monitors up here in the Al Shaver press box showing the split screen during that timeout of the two players in the penalty box, and it seemed to be just a healthy conversation between them as Fleury stops a slap shot off the draw he hangs on. I think if I'm just kind of reading the room there, it was Lauko saying, like, I didn't mean to hit him from behind. He kind of turned last second, and Lomberg going, all right, I'll give you that. And looked to be just a good respect between a couple of middleweights there and a spirited scrap.
Yeah, and so often, Joe, you see after fight that they'll talk to each other as the officials are breaking them up. And I just say, good fight, way to go. Thanks for answering the bell, whatever it may be.
Zuccarello in onside, glove down a pass, found Eriksson Ek, tried to drop it back, it deflected. Chisholm had some trouble with it, stays deep in the Flame zone. Eriksson Ek left wing corner, wrapped up. And now Huberdeau peels it along to Mackenzie Weegar. Weegar fires it in. Back is Chisholm, the backhander along Zuccarello through his own slot, right into the wheelhouse of Kaprizov. A 2-on-2 for the Wild. Kaprizov over the blue line, nearly fumbled it away, then got hounded by a couple of white jerseys and gave up puck possession.
Well, he's one of those guys that demands a couple of guys coming after. He's hard to take just one guy on top of Kaprizov the way he handles the puck.
Spurgeon plays it behind his own net. Chisholm plays it right back around to Spurgeon. Onto the tape of Zuccarello. Cuts through center, feathered it up by Kaprizov. Right to Zuccarello through the slot with a wrister, and that caught the glass. Kaprizov to the carom. Chiseled it back for Gaudreau. Fresh off the Wild bench, Freddie Gaudreau hacks it to Kaprizov. One touch to Faber. Left side Middleton in tight with a shot. Wolf the save. Rebound. Swatted up. Held in by Faber. Look out though. It's a jailbreak. Pospisil tipping it free. Gaudreau trying to come back. Pospisil in with a shot. And Fleury made the save.
Boy, got the glove in the right position on that one to knock it away.
Flames on it again. Fleury another stop. A chance for Pospisil, and he scores. He went backhand, forehand. And the second time, the charm for Martin Pospisil. The Flames are back in front.
Yeah, certainly have to follow the goaltender. Minnesota have to come back there to help out, but what a play to begin with by the goaltender also. And you look at Fleury, he is so confident in his game here, but Pospisil does a nice job once he got the puck, came off the goaltender. You see Fleury going with him, but no one was able to take Pospisil out of the play there, and as a result of it, he just came back onto the forehand, put in the wide open net. So it gives Calgary the lead here, that goal coming at 12 minutes and 28 seconds of the second period.
Tom, I think you said it perfectly. Not on the netminder there. He made 2 saves, nearly made a third. Wondering where everybody else was.
Yeah.
So his third of the year. So the Flames getting some depth scoring. Kuzmenko's third, Pospisil's third, and his second against Minnesota. For their penalty minute leader.
Martin Pospisil, assisted by number 96, Andrei Kuzmenko, and number 17, Yegor Sharangovich. Time of the goal, 12:28.
And so Kuzmenko's got a 2-point game.
That he has, and that'll bring the faceoff now back deep in the Minnesota zone as well. I mean, not a lot of shots here. You brought that up in the first period, and we're not seeing a lot of action towards the netminder with those shots coming off the sticks. Just 12-11 right now in favor of the visitors.
Flames came into this game as they win the draw here. Shot by Miromanov, deflected just wide. Boy, Wild better wake up here. Miramanoff a drive. That hit Middleton, side of the net. Fleury scrambling around. Flames are back on it. Anderson a drive, and it fluttered into the corner. Didn't get much on that one-timer. So the Wild down 2-1 with under 7 minutes left in the second period. In the high slot, Coronado wheels to the right circle with a chance. Stick save Fleury, and another whistle. Much needed one for Minnesota.
Boy, do they ever right now. Fleury's making all the saves by himself there. He needs some help, and they're not giving it to him right now. So right now, John Hines making a wholesale player change on the ice. Just a little bit scrambly for Minnesota in this last couple of shifts.
Off the face-off, Flames win the draw. Hanley serves it into the corner, bounces behind the Wild net. Merrill races to it. Hit the back of Ogren with his clearing attempt. Liam Ogren able to nudge it through center. Flames try to come right back over the line. Rossi right side, spins off a hit. Works it rink wide. Merrill banks it off the boards. Ogren gapped up by Pahal. A tie-up in front of the Flames bench. A couple bodies from each team trying to dig it free. Flames didn't have it initially. Now they do. It's speared in over the left shoulder of Fleury, where Merrill got run over. He was flat-footed there and thrown down to the ice. But the Wild come up with this puck. Boldy flicks it along, charging in Ogren. Puck jumped over his tape before he could shoot it. He'll stay with it, poking it down low. Boldy ran into the referee, trying to come out of a scrum. And then his pass for Ogren deflected away. Huberdeau turns it to Weegar. Weegar jarring it free. Rooney taps along, and now it's Peltier. Giving it off to Huberdeau. Onside, outside the left circle. Late help coming off the bench. Kadri. Kadri danced past the check. Look for Huberdeau in the slot. The Wild tipped that up. Not quite out. 5.5 minutes left in the second. Zuccarello one-touched it to Rossi. Lost it. Anderson down low. Bouncing puck. Flames have it. They'll fire one in front. Fleury stretched out and got a piece of it. Again, Calgary with the puck. Rasmus Anderson filtered it free. A shot by Kadri. Stop. Penalty call coming as Chisholm got hammered right before that shot. And all heck's broken loose. There goes Anderson right in the fray. Fleury joins the scrum. Fleury's right in the middle of it now. Dustin Wolf just kind of watching from the other end.
Yeah, Anderson took a swing at Fleury also right to the helmet. That brought everybody else into the fray.
Remember, it was Anderson that joined the scrum after the Lauco hit on Kevin Ball. So he'll be heading to the box for the second time, it looks like. 5:11 left in the second period. We expected a spirited and energized performance from the Wild. The Flames, a meat and potatoes team as well. And this one's gotten spicy.
I mean, a little bit of a cheap shot, taking a swing at Fleury.
I mean, Fleury saw what Anderson did. Watch Tom here on the look on the video board. Anderson comes in late and just jumps right over the back of Spurgeon, so Fleury's not going to let that slide. Zuccarello then 2 points for a takedown on Rasmus Anderson, and all heck broke loose. Timeout on the ice. Officials with a lot to sort out here. The Wild trail the Flames 2-1. 5:11 left in the second. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout. Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account. What? With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save. So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done? Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account. That's a flex. This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO. At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
From snow and ice to road salt and sludge, Minnesota winters can be tough on your car. Get clean car happy no matter the forecast at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Tidal Wave's industry-leading car wash gives your vehicle a fast, thorough clean to preserve your car's finish from the elements. Experience clean car shine worth cheering for at Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the state of hockey's car wash destination and proud car wash partner of the Minnesota Wild.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Well, still deciding what the penalties are going to be. The referee has talked to the captains. Captains have talked to their coaches. Players coming on the ice for Minnesota right now.
There are 3 players that I can see in the Minnesota penalty box, Tom. And 3 Flames, it looks like, as well. Now, of course...
Is that Curly, Larry, and Mo?
Lomberg and Lauko were already in there from the Fighting Majors. All this at 14:49.
Yeah. They still don't have in the official score sheet yet.
And it doesn't look like anybody's getting a power play after all. Face-off's out at center. No additional time.
5-on-5.
Up there.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Evens it out.
Uyghur, headmans. Here's Adam Abrams.
For Rasmus Anderson, 2 minutes roughing, and number 10, Jonathan Huberdeau, 2 minutes cross-checking. Minnesota, number 29, Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 minutes for roughing, and 36, Matt Zuccarello, 2 minutes for roughing.
What would you do if
Fleury's penalty served by number 47, Declan Chisholm.
I mean,
again.
Seriously.
I know Fleury wants a fight at some point in his Hall of Fame career. I don't think he wanted a roughing minor for that little bear hug on a player that took a liberty on one of his guys. Flames attack. A backhander stopped by Fleury off the rush. Coronado with that bit. Boldy picks up the loose change, carries the Wild ahead, spears it to Kaprizov, who slides it around the end glass. Boldy pressures Hanley. Won the battle for a moment. Stabbed loose. Coleman, a heavy hit he endured there from Foligno as the Wild back through center ice with John Merrill. Swinging it to Zach Bogosian. Bogosian just shy of the red line. Fired it along. It tips. Ustadinov there. So is Bogosian right by the penalty box area. Now Hanley just carves it ahead as Foligno took a run at him. Merrill back to defend. Picks up this puck down below his goal line, shoveled it along for Bogosian. Right side, able to scoop through center. Foligno chunked it ahead. They say no high stick infraction. Flames touch up next anyway. Sharangovich feeds Kuzmenko. Back to Yegor Sharangovich. Darting his way into the Wild zone. Curled up right circle. Fakes another shot to Sharangovich. Spins along the boards again, then wristed one right into the skates of Merrill, who off a Trenyon pass leads the Wild ahead. John Merrill flops it in as he gains the red line. Just over 3 minutes to go in the second period. Wild have never led. Twice they've trailed by a goal. It's Trenyon with a heavy hit on the forecheck against Kuzmenko. Charging in Spurgeon with a shot, and that's swallowed up by Wolf. That hit actually might have been on Miramanoff, not Kuzmenko. Either way, Trenyon throwing his weight around, Tom.
Yeah, and that's what you want him to do. He's a big body. He can certainly handle that, and he's not afraid to mix it up. Tom, it feels like most of the year you've been begging for some intensity, some post-whistle scrums. You're getting it here tonight, my friend. Yeah, and I like that. I want the guys to be involved like that. When you're playing physical like this, something happens. It energizes your bench also. They want to be a part of that. Most of them. They asked Wayne Gretzky one time, are those fights fixed? He said if they were, I would have been in more of them.
Fighting Majors, the Lomberg and Lauko are now over. 3:10 left in the second. Wild being outshot 17-11 here. They trailed 2-1.
We've got the Hockey Lodge hotline coming up here in just a few minutes, so get your questions in. Don't forget that code. You can just text in your comments at 64686. We'll try to answer them for you. Face-off is going to be deep in the Calgary zone. Winning the draws would be nice for Minnesota. We haven't seen a lot of that with the Wild. See what the winning the draws are so far in this game.
Adrian Rossi on the face-off. Ogren picked up that puck, fired a shot wide. Spurgeon stepped to a drive. That's in the glove of Wolf.
And Minnesota's won 36% of the draws once again. We talk about this every game because it happens every game.
Hartman and Kadri on this draw. It's to the left of Wolf. And we'll reset and do it again. The Flames coming in the last two games. They won them both, but they had allowed 73 shots. However, Wolf turned aside 70 of them. A .958 save percentage the last two games. They haven't given up much here in the Wild tonight. Probably much more to Ryan Huska's liking, their head coach. But Wolf, again, has been pretty good. Out to handle a puck behind his own net. Fleury left it on a tee for Spurgeon. Right through his own slot where Ogren couldn't handle it cleanly. Gets to it. Flipped it back. Spurgeon. Pass for Chisholm, who fed it out to center ice. Hartman couldn't come up with it. And the Wild have to retry again. Spurgeon to Chisholm. Through his own slot. Up ice. Rossi, a backhand tip. Now it's Dustin Wolf out with his goal stick. Swung it around the boards. First man there is Ogren. Churned it back into the corner as the Wild looked to cycle. Rossi right back to Ogren. Liam Ogren carved it down below the goal line again. Flames are there first. Kadri to Anderson. He'll carry out right side and rifle a pass ahead. Icing here on the Flames.
Ladies and gentlemen, with over 30 seconds.
Well, 2:16 to go here in period number 2. Things slowing down just a little bit. A lot of conversations going on the ice right now between these two teams that don't seem to like each other.
Let's put it up on the video board that Marc-Andre Fleury now has surpassed Patrick Roy for the second most minutes played by a goaltender in NHL history.
Over 60,000 minutes?
And only 14,000 or so more to pass Marty Brodeur. We'll have to hope for a really long overtime.
How about the wins? What's Marty Brodeur, like 691?
It's remarkable.
Yeah.
Once he passed Roy many years ago, speaking of Brodeur, it's not like he slowed down. He really never looked back.
Yeah. And he's a big body also. Oh, here we go. Watching Eriksson having a few words now with
bit of a
Backstrom,
dust
I believe.
up. Yeah, Anderson, a couple of fellow Swedes.
Rasmus Anderson, one of the players going to the...
I was going to say he's on the Four Nations roster with Eriksson, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
They can talk about it more in February.
I'm looking forward to that Four Nations Cup. I really am. When you got Sweden and Finland, you got the U.S. and Canada, and it's almost like a mini Olympics.
Kaprizov, a left wing shot off the draw, blocked out in front. I mentioned Jacob Markstrom earlier, the former Flames goaltender, and one of the Swedish netminders named to that roster. He is going to be out week to week, if not longer, with an injury suffered a couple of nights back.
Yeah, it's a huge loss.
Here's a steal by Coronado, and then he gets tripped up.
Minnesota will be shorthanded once again in this contest. They've given up one goal so far being shorthanded, and that's number 14 going to the box.
Minnesota number 14, 2-minute minor penalty for tripping.
Eriksson has picked up his fair share of penalties in the last few games.
He ever.
Saw that with Boldy in an earlier set of games this year where just couldn't seem to stay out of the box. That was an unfortunate stick blade in the skates off that giveaway. Coronado tried to curl in front. Eriksson was trying to steer it off his tape, took him down instead. So a big penalty kill for the Wild late in the second. Don't want to go down two, you wouldn't think, with as little offense as the Wild have had tonight. Flames control. Uyghur to the right side. Sharangovich back to the point. Uyghur, a shot ricocheted around in front and went just wide. Huberdeau spins it around the boards. Uyghur pinched in. Paid for it as Foligno dumped in. Now Kadri, left wing corner offensive zone, met by Gaudreau. 80 seconds left in the second period. The Wild trailing 2-1. As the two teams battle to the right of Fleury. Puck skittered up top. Uyghur through the high slot. Fed Sharangovich back to Uyghur. Fakes a drive. Tried to one-touch it to Kadri. That pass was errant. Bogosian couldn't clear it. Kadri knocked it down. Toronto Maple Leafs first rounder Kadri. Outside the left circle with a shot. Stick save Fleury. Not sure how he saw it through the screen of Huberdeau. Flames have it once more. Kadri hounded by Gaudreau. Gaudreau dove. Couldn't get it out. Coronado to the right side. A drive by Sharangovich blocked. Big shot blocked by Foligno, and Gaudreau cleans up the mess. Under 40 seconds to play in the second. Mackenzie Weegar lugs it along. Flames offside here, have to curl back. Backlund dancing through neutral ice. Here's Michael Backlund. Flies it into the right of Fleury as he gained the center line. Merrill pressures. It's chunked along looking for Anderson. Now Blake Coleman sweeping it free. 15 seconds to go in the period. Backlund hounded by Merrill. Merrill had his stick taken away by Backlund. A centering pass came out for Backlund. A shot was blocked. Anderson a drive. He scores.
Frustrating right now for Minnesota.
Merrill lost his stick in that exchange trying to defend.
And you can see he was going to go for it. Then he decided not to try to come back. But number 4 is going to get this one also. That's Rasmus Anderson is going to pick up a goal for his team. And that is goal number 7 on the year for him. Made the assistant captain this year.
His first point the last 8 games. Backlund shot blocked by Husnudinov. And then Backlund put it right in the wheelhouse of Anderson. And from about hash marks in, he just lasered it upstairs. And then he went to the corner and talked a little trash to some fans sitting at the glass.
Yeah, 1952 will be the official time of that.
Scoring for Calgary on the power play, 7th of the season for number 4, Rasmus Anderson. Assist going to number 11, Mikhail
Penalty
Backlund.
Kill for the Wild,
and
Tom.
Number 76.
An issue again.
Yep.
That's now 4 power play goals for the Flames in 5 periods of the season series. For a man advantage on the year, 21st in the league. It's not like they're world beaters.
Yeah, and I don't know where you go with it. I mean, they're trying everything. I mean, you've got the coaches getting together with the players and trying to devise an attack of how you kill a penalty. But when you lose your stick, all of a sudden now you're really like almost like having an extra man out there.
So we're through 40 minutes. And some work to do for the Wild. But remember, November 23rd, they trailed 3-1 in Calgary with 4 minutes left and found their way into overtime. But after 2 periods here tonight, it's 3-1 Flames on Hockey Day Minnesota 2025. Tom Reed's Hotline. And a recap of all the action comes your way after this. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
I'm Katie Nolan, and I have a new podcast called Casuals. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Casuals is a twice-a-week hang with me and my friends from across comedy, sports, and entertainment, where we talk about all the funny, weird, interesting stuff happening in and around the world of sports. So whether you're a diehard fan or just vaguely sports curious, Casuals is the podcast for you. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Give it a try. What's the worst that could happen?
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gord, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About whatever how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Playing in the Four Nations face-off for Team USA. Connor Hellebuck.
How do you feel about getting a chance to play for USA?
The type of hockey it's going to be fun. There's going to be some high-pressure games. You're going to be putting your country's jersey on. You're representing your country. I think we're going to have a great fan base around us. And I'm really looking forward to what it brings.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
From in the crease to in the locker room.
Four Nations Team Canada Face-Off Associate GM Jim Nill. You as a manager view goaltending going into the tournament in February.
Yeah, we're talking about 2 of the guys that won Stanley Cups and play in those type of pressure games. That's a pretty good resume to have. So we're pretty confident with it and pretty confident with the team that we're going to have playing in front of them.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
Devils head coach Sheldon Keefe, you decided to jump right back into it.
New Jersey Devils reached out really within an hour or so of the news coming out of me being let go. And the more I got to know Tom and his vision for the team and seeing the situation, it was a tremendous opportunity that I couldn't let pass by.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You can win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
Flames scored twice in the second, including Rasmus Andersson with his 7th of the year with 7.9 seconds left to go in the middle frame. Wild down 3-1 on Hockey Day, Minnesota. Get your questions in 64686. Giving away Wild Hurricane tickets when the Wild are back in town after this lengthy 5-game road trip. But meanwhile, get those questions in, text them at 64686. I'll tell you, Tom, spirited affair, but once again, the Wild are struggling, and you can't blame the goaltender. He's been really good.
He really has been good. There's no fault on his part, that's for sure. But you look at Minnesota, once again, the specialty teams. They're not scoring power play goals, but they're certainly giving up. I think in the last 6 games now, Kevin, they've given up 7 power play goals and 17 chances. You're not going to win with numbers like that.
Nope. So hopefully they can figure it out, get some of that Hockey Day magic going on in that third period. They got to rally. Down 3-1 heading into period number 3. To our questions, we'll start with this one from the 651 area code. Tom, it is Hockey Day, Minnesota. Do you think the National Hockey League would ever let the Minnesota Wild participate with an outdoor game on this special day?
Well, never say never. I mean, there's always that opportunity to do something like that, but they really like going in these small communities and make it happen. Next year it's going to be in Hastings, Minnesota, and they've got a beautiful outdoor facility down there, the rink, and they're building a clubhouse for the players, or dressing rooms and so on, which is really going to be nice. A couple years from now, Bemidji, they're going? Brainerd
International Raceway.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But that'll be interesting, too. But I think, I don't think you want to take it away from the small communities that have the games there. I think they like to keep it the way it's going right now. 17 times now they've had it in the startup of Baudette.
Yep. It's been up there twice.
Someone's been cold. Minnesota's always had a pretty good record, but it may not this year if they don't get some goals in the third period.
14-3-1 on this magical holiday, and every community has done a great job, even White Bear Lake just a couple of years ago. To this one from Roger in
that
Rose.
Brings a smile to your face, doesn't it?
Anytime I can deliver a shot to Helvey, and I know he's listening.
They have fireworks out there?
At the absolute wrong time. But that's a story for another day. From Roger in Roseville, Tom, is Marc-Andre Fleury ever going to get that fight that he so badly covets?
Well, depends who he's going to go against. He almost had a chance there, but you don't want your star players, and he certainly is one of the stars involved in things like that. We need him on the ice more than off the ice, and we don't need him getting hurt by being in a fight.
I'll tell you this much, though. When the scrum was happening down to our broadcast left, and he's in it and getting punched in the face by Rasmus Andersson, and he goes into the crease, I did take a look to my right. It didn't happen. Wolf never left his goal crease, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. He wants it sometime before he retires.
Well, he says he does, but I hope he doesn't get it.
Yeah. He's so much fun to watch, though. This one from Scott L. Boy, what a blockbuster trade it was last night for the Colorado Avalanche, Tom. They get rid of Mikko Rantanen. What does this do to the power in the Central Division and the Western Conference with Rantanen headed east?
Well, I'm quite glad he's going headed east. And look at Taylor Hall, also from Chicago. He's going east to Carolina. So those two guys can be a nemesis against Minnesota. They both can score goals, but it's a money situation. I'm sure of that with the Colorado Avalanche. They're going to, because they've got some young kids on that blue line coming, and they just feel they couldn't afford to keep a player. So you try and get something back now that you can use for the future. But Rantanen, I think he'll enjoy himself in Carolina.
I think so, too. And from what the Hurricanes are saying, they're saying all the right things. They hope that there's a possibility they can re-sign him for a long-term deal. They've got a little more wiggle room under the cap than Colorado does, so they get the opportunity to lock him up. I'm sure they'll give it their best.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They want to. They're striving to become a much better team, and a guy like Rantanen certainly is going to help them.
From Grayson, East Bethel, Tom, you were a durable player in the National Hockey League.
What's that mean?
I hope that was the polite way to put it. You're a guy that, but especially in that day, everyone had to fight. At some point, you were probably going to fight. You were not immune to dropping the gloves. Do you have a memorable fight from your days playing in the National Hockey League?
I remember my first fight. I fought a guy by the name of, his name just escaped me once again. But he was a welterweight boxer also.
What?
Yeah, he's a boxer. He used to,
How'd you do?
I did fine. I was fine.
I've never heard that story.
I pinned him up against the boards.
Oh. So he tied him up?
So he couldn't swing.
Did you know going into it that he was a boxer?
No idea. No, but he was tough guy. He was pretty good. I had a fight with a number of guys over the years, and it's always interesting. You look back and you don't really think about it. You have a fight, you go on to the next game, and it's never hard feelings with it. Unless something bad really happened, then you wonder. I remember Bob Kurtz and I were doing the game in Boston. We had 406 minutes and penalties. We're broadcasting that game.
Unbelievable.
406.
Had to be a 6-hour broadcast.
It was a long one. I set my VCRs. They were new in that day, and it ran out of tape after two periods. So it was out of third period.
Oh, that's great. You talk about boxers. I remember when Derek Bugard was here, he was taking boxing lessons, and he passed that down to John Scott, who also took boxing lessons. These are two great big guys that now learn how to fight. Not only that they can fight, but they're pretty darn good at it.
Yeah, they were. And if you remember, Derek also started a camp. It was a boxing camp for hockey players.
Oh, that's outstanding.
That was not too well received by a lot of people.
No, it wasn't. What memories. From the 612 area code, more from the memory bank. Tom, with the talk about the defenseman helping out the goalie, who are some of the goalies you enjoyed playing in front of?
Well, Gump Worsley would obviously be one of them. He was a great guy. He was fun, and he never, ever got mad at you if a goal was scored. He would always, I should have had that, or I didn't do this, or I didn't. I remember Fern Rivard, another goaltender. I would say, Fern, what happened? He said, oh, that Bobby Russo. He'd come down, he'd shoot the puck, it'd go by me. But before I move my glove, by the time I move it, already gone by. And there was Cesar Maniago. Cesar was great. He was a fun guy to play. And we had a game in Toronto one time, and a lot of penalties being taken by our team against the Leafs, and he got mad. And he said, in between periods, I'm tired of this stuff. I don't need the more penalties, and got mad. And Teddy Harris was our coach, and Teddy came in and said, what's going on? And Cesar blew up at it, and Teddy said, I'll take care of it. Well, he said, he didn't take care of it yet. He said, I quit. He took his clothes off and walked right out the door, and Peter LaPresti's sitting there, and Peter's looking around, he says, I guess I'm in. And he was.
Oh, my goodness. What memories. All right, Thomas, that's all the time I got for now.
Good. Thank you.
Tom Reed from the Al Shaver Press Box with Tom Reed's Hotline. Did you get your question in? Well, then you got a chance at winning a pair of tickets to see the Wild and Canes when the Wild return from this road trip. That'll be the next home game, Wild hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. If you don't get that text message and you don't win, you still have an opportunity to get those tickets. You just have to pay for them. Wild.com/tickets. Wild trailed the Flames 3-1 after 2 periods. We'll have a full recap next. This is Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Get to know the contenders for music's highest honor, from country to pop, rock to hip-hop, and beyond. The 67th Annual Grammy Awards nominees have their own SiriusXM destination, the Grammy Channel. For a limited time on SiriusXM 17. And at home on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gore, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Messier magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it, there's a chance, Reno Caulfield shoots and scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
After one period of play, Wild and Flames knotted at a goal apiece on Hockey Day, Minnesota, by the way. Happy Hockey Day to you and yours. Kuzmenko started the scoring .658 on the power play with his third of the year, but it's answered by Jules Eriksson with his 8th of the season from Mats Zuccarello and Kirill Kaprizov. 1-1 after one, shots even at 5 goals apiece. Go to the second, and unfortunately, the Flames score twice. Possible scores his third of the year at the 12:28 mark, and then with 7.9 seconds left to go in the middle frame, Rasmus Andersson, public enemy number 1, punches Marc-Andre Fleury in the face, also gets a goal, his 7th of the year from Backlund and Possible. That's your story after 2 periods of play. Wild trail the Flames 3-1 in St. Paul. The Flames outshoot the Wild 14-8 in the second, 2-period total of 19-13. Marc-Andre Fleury stops 12 in the second. He's got a 2-period total of 16. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Still with it. Here's a one-timer and a score!
Sirius XM 91.
3, Wild 1. The third is next on Hockey Day, Minnesota. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Hey, Wild fans, you want your family to be warm and comfortable during our Minnesota winters, right? That's why it's good to know the knowledgeable and friendly dealers at Bryant Heating and Cooling who will do whatever it takes to keep your heating system running safely and efficiently, no matter what the weather throws at you. Plus, score up to $2,600 in tax credits on qualifying Bryant systems and ask about rebates and financing for qualified buyers. Find your local dealer at Bryant.com. Bryant, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Visit Parlor St. Paul before or after the Wild game or anytime for great food, drinks, and service. Located on West 7th. Go ahead and make a reservation before the puck hits the ice. Parlor St. Paul is here to celebrate the wins and help forget about the losses, and they're here for the long run. This neighborhood establishment is celebrating 6 years of tasty burgers and craft cocktails. On game days, enjoy complimentary valet parking and half off your first 2 tap beers or house wines from puck drop to close. Located on West 7th, it's Parlor St. Paul.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
Texas Spirit started with Tito's Handmade Vodka. Back in the 90s, we had a dream as big as our home state. With grit, determination, and heart, we broke ground on the first legal distillery in Texas. Today, at the center of the craft spirits movement, we're still Texas-made and Texan-owned. Our copper caps line shelves, and we fill glasses with the smoothest juice around. Remember, just because it looks like vodka doesn't mean it tastes like Tito's. 40% alcohol by volume, naming 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
This is Wild General Manager Bill Guerin. I try to be at every Minnesota Wild game, but when I can't, I tune in to Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed. In the Twin Cities, it's FM 100.3 KFAN. Online, stream it at wild.com or use the official Minnesota Wild app. It's that easy, and they're on the air every night, bringing you Minnesota Wild hockey, exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
All right, third period from St. Paul. The Wild trying to chisel their way back into this hockey game. They trail 3-1. Again, November 23rd in Calgary. Trailed 3-1 in the third. Eventually tied up goals by Faber and Rossi. Rossi's in the final minutes with the goaltender pulled.
Hey, Joe, and if you look at the records also, looking at Calgary, when they lead after 2 periods, the record is 13-1-1. Minnesota, when they trail after 2 periods, the record is 3-10-2. So they have come back to pick up some points 5 times out of 15 times mentioned. So we'll see what happens right now. Minnesota just got to get more firepower.
30 combined penalty minutes between the two teams through 2 periods of play. Calgary with 2 power play goals, 1 in each frame, including a late dagger in the waning seconds of the second. Kaprizov lasers it in. Zuccarello spun off a hit, bottom of the right circle, tried to go rink wide, it was blocked. Zuccarello gets back to it, fed the point Faber a shot that hit Eriksson, and the Flames look to carry up. It is Huberdeau stopping right circle, forehanded wrister, knocked down by the glove of Fleury. Faber pins up his man. Kadri digs it free. Nazem Kadri fanned on his first pass, retrieves it again, lofted it to Pahal, who cycled it around the Wild cage, grabbing it Faber, launching it ahead. Kaprizov trying to work his way past some pressure, but Pahal slowed him down. Kaprizov leaking it free to Boldy. Found Eriksson, back to Boldy. Crunched into the right wing corner for the chase down to Spurgeon, who tried to jab it out in front. And the Flames have it again. Calgary soaring it along. Chunked away from immediate trouble by Rossi. Now it's Coronado, right circle, toe drag moving a shot. Big rebound off of Fleury, but Minnesota peels it away from trouble. And Rossi threw his own slot to the captain, Jared Spurgeon. Lobbed it ahead. Foligno finds Declan Chisholm. Chisholm centered. A backdoor pass from Rossi, tipped away. And the Flames attack here with Blake Coleman. Coleman firing one towards the slot. Changed directions off Foligno. Gave Fleury some trouble. Calgary player Coronado ended up in the net as play continues. Boldy hands it back. A 3-on-2 over the blue line. Foligno, a drop pass between the legs. Rossi spins up left side. Rossi onto the tape of Bogosian. Right circle. Chance by Boldy. Swallowed up by Wolf.
Yeah, good try by Boldy. It was to the right of the left of the goaltender and got the puck, but a little bit of a tough angle there. Just trying to get the shot through, but unfortunately, Wolf grabs into that one. That'll keep the face-off deep in the Calgary zone. Minnesota's got to get some firepower going here, but they got to stay on the penalty box too, because that is killing them right now. Giving him 2 power play goals in this hockey game of the 3 goals that the Flames have scored.
And more shots, Tom. Just 13 at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of between-the-legs passes and backdoor passes. And John Hines talks about it. Got to go north, got to sift pucks towards the net, as he often talks about. Romanov off the rush with a bid that deflected wide. Wild clear it ahead. Over the blue line, left side comes Liam Ogren. Uyghur closed on him. Ogren tried to muscle it to the front of the cage. That's taken away by the Calgary Flames. And Mackenzie Uyghur turns it over at center. Hartman stole his pass. 2-on-1 down low. Goudreau, right circle, in with a shot. Wolf the save, and he pulls it underneath him.
Well, good effort by Goudreau once again. And he's got that slippery feeling about him also. He can actually stick handle in the phone booth, I think, but he does a nice job coming in here. And once again, Minnesota not able to capitalize and get the chance here. Wolf just grabs onto that one, and that'll get the stoppage of play. And with that, the face-off will be deep in the Calgary zone. 17:33 to go here. Shots 21-14 in favor of the visitors. And you're right, Joe. Minnesota's got to keep the puck going north, but they've got to get some shots in the offensive area.
Wolf was 7-7-1 with Calgary last year. He won 20 games in the American Hockey League. And has all of a sudden become the Flames' #1 goaltender. And, of course, Wild fans, some similar vein, hoping that Jesper Wallstedt, eventually, their prize goaltending prospect, comes up here, finds his way into an everyday role.
But he struggled somewhat down the minors as well, so hopefully that confidence level for a goaltender is critical.
Zuccarello glove down a pass. They call this offside, and the Wild not happy about it.
No, they are not happy. They're talking in the lines right now, but you know what? The whistle's gone. It's not going to change anything.
They're going to move the draw all the way back near the Wild blue line to the left of Fleury, just out at center ice with 2:58 gone by in the third. Who's going to get the first one for the Wild to inch closer as they trail this one 3-1?
Well, if they can get one, that's going to give them a lot of energy in this whole building also. But that bench needs to get some life on it too. When you sit on that bench like that, you're talking to your teammate, whether you're on the front line or whether you're on the defense position, about what you're going to do in situations.
Flames have missed the playoffs back-to-back seasons, 3 of the last 4 years. They've had 38 wins each of the last 2 campaigns, just a little shy of where you normally need to be in that mid-40 range to secure a playoff spot. Usually gets it done. Zuccarello, left wing corner offensive zone checked. Eriksson kept in. Kaprizov dancing through the slot, fired a wrister block. Zuccarello down low, try to center. It rolls up top for Middleton, That puck kind of never settled down for him. Eriksson feeds Kaprizov, cuts through the high slot on his backhand, try to twist it down low. That's poked away. And the Flames muscle it out to center. Eriksson, quick transition ahead. Zuccarello, left wing side, all the way down low. Try to rip it to Kaprizov, bounced off his tape. Ustendinov comes charging off the Wild bench, spun off a check. Behind the net now, Kaprizov pinned up there. Chisholm to pinch in left wing corner. He tried to serve it in front. Kaprizov then wrestled off the puck by Pahal, or any path for the puck, I should say. And the Flames now come out through center ice. Lomberg taps it along. Good back check by Ustendinov. Swiped it free. He'll find Trenyon all by himself. Trenyon a chip and chase over the left shoulder of Dustin Wolf. Flames, though, break it out cleanly. Here is Kadri swatting it along. Met by Spurgeon, and Spurgeon took him off the puck for a moment. Now Chisholm in his own slot. Wheels at the Spurgeon, fluttered ahead, looking for Trenyon. Stolen by Weegar, who forces it to Pospisil, and his cross-ice dish intercepted by Rossi. Trenyon for Chisholm, and it bounced away out at center. Almost 5 minutes gone by in the third. Crowd looking for something to get them going here, icing on the Flames.
Yeah, a goal certainly would do that. And right now, Minnesota is doing a lot of passing with the puck, but not getting shots through to the net of the opposite end, and that's what they have to do right now. So, face-off is going to be to the right of Wolf. Getting a well-deserved drink of water. He hasn't been too busy in this hockey game. Fleury's had the better of the saves in this game.
On the draw, puck comes near the point, but it was stashed away from the reach of favor by Pospisil. Pospisil now won the battle. Got it to Kuzmenko, tried to spin. Faber slowed him down. It's jarred free for Sharon Govich. This line is giving the Wild some fits here in this hockey game.
Yeah, it certainly has.
Kuzmenko a goal and assist. Pospisil has a difference maker right now. His goal made it 2-1. As it's Merrill peeling it to Middleton. Both teams trying to finish a line change as Jake Middleton gains the red line, chops in and goes off for a fresh body. Boldy batted a puck out of midair along the glass, but the Flames emerge regardless of that as Coronado floats it in. Coleman tried to cut in front, nothing there. Coronado swerves it back of the cage. John Merrill to Foligno, one touch back where Rossi will knuckle it along. Icing waved off, it goes in wide past Dustin Wolf, who comes out with his goal stick and sets it up for Mackenzie Weegar. Weegar out of his own zone from left to right on your radio dial with a bouncer that deflects in. Fleury stopped it and then left it for Goudreau. Left wing breakout feed. Merrill kept it coming out through center for Ogren, and he was checked along the glass in this play offside.
They're talking, but no physical play, just verbal abuse.
We've all been there.
Yep.
13:57 to go. The Wild down 3-1 at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
It's soccer's most thrilling league.
Only the Premier League can make you feel like this.
And now every match is on the SiriusXM app.
Can you believe it?
From the title race.
This is remarkable. Keeps this title charge on track, surely.
To the relegation fight.
The impossible may still be possible.
Hear every English Premier League match on the SiriusXM app and talk about all the EPL drama on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
I think general managers must sit back in their chairs, Gore, and they must say, okay, if we make a coaching change here, chances are that at least for 10 games, we're more than competitive, and we're probably going to win much more than we lose.
Coaches are probably yelling an expletive, right? About, whatever, how that particular trend is going. So you're right. So far, it's like perfect.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick. Weekdays, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Well, 13:57 to go here in the third period. Minnesota trailing 3-1 to the visitors, the Calgary Flames. Right now the shots are 22-14 in favor of Calgary, who also have 2 power play goals in this contest. Face off outside the defensive zone of Calgary.
Draw one by the Wild, stashed ahead by Spurgeon from just outside the blue line right wing boards. Back are the Flames to try and dig it free. Peltier chops through center.
Flames done a nice job just getting out of their own zone. I mean, they don't spend a lot of time down behind their own blue line.
Ogren with some trouble in his D zone. Continues to battle against Huberdeau and emerges does Liam Ogren. Swung it along Gaudreau, try to fire it ahead. Barely onside here, the Wild in on the forecheck. Uyghur bottled up. It's rimmed to the right point. Spurgeon fakes a shot. Waits a moment. Left circle. He was looking for Gaudreau. That was tipped away by Huberdeau. Gaudreau able to get to it. Try to center for Ogren. Another stick in the lane. That's something Calgary's done really well, Tom. Just kind of, keeping the Wild from clean execution.
Yeah, Minnesota's having a hard time getting the puck into that area where you can score some goals from.
Backlund to Coronado. Wrapped up by Middleton. And Minnesota's defense going to be extremely aggressive here in the third, down by a pair. Onside comes Backlund. Loads, fires a drive. Snatched out of the air by Fleury. He'll hang on.
A little discussion now in that blue paint area with Fleury right in the middle of it. Well, join us on February the 6th for our Women of the North series, sponsored by Woody Creek Distillery. Prior to watching the Wild and the Hurricanes, we're inviting you to unleash your creativity with a guided painting tutorial. Purchase today at wild.com/pack.
Much of a painter, Tom Reed?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I painted my house a couple of years ago.
How about artwork?
Oh, no. Stick figures.
With paint. Interesting. I would have thought colored pencils. Although, when you went to school, I don't know, did they have colored pencils, Tom Reed? The box of 64 definitely did not exist.
Oh, linesman went down. I think he's all right. Appears to be.
Would have stepped on a colored pencil.
We had crayons and pencils. We used to keep them in the covered wagon outside house.
12:39 to go in regulation. We'll try and stay on the rails here. Eric Sinek on the draw against Backlund after Coronado was thrown from the circle. It's 5-on-5 hockey. Wild still down 3-1. Still plenty of time left, but they need something here soon. As it's shuttled into the Flame zone. Middleton crashed down along the boards. Puck leaks back the other way. Faber hustles to it. Springs it rink wide. Zuccarello, bottom of his own right circle. Surveys, navigates along. Zuccarello with his head up the whole way. Chiseled it free. Kaprizov steps over the blue line. Swung it to the right side. Faber lifted it back in front, but Kaprizov was tied up. Eric Sinek charging to it. Puck jostled free. Zuccarello to the right point. Faber arrested, blocked by Coleman. Faber gets it back. Zuccarello sent it rink wide. Middleton gallops to it. Goal line left wing boards. He tried to fire it in front. That hit a body. Kaprizov now to sling it to the left point. Eric Sinek. Middle of the ice. Faber. Bottom of the right circle. Zuccarello. A one touch in front. Faber gathers. Pokes it to the right side. Zuccarello a shot. Just saved by Wolf. The rebound sliced out of midair but wide by Kaprizov. Minnesota nearly steals. Now the Flames pulled up ice. Coleman with Coronado. Coronado back to Coleman. That feed blocked by Faber. Kept in at the blue line, Pahal threw one for a tip by Coleman that rocketed off the glass, and the Wild on it again with Husnudinov, wrapped up by Sharangovich. Calgary changing. The Wild with a couple of players out there for quite some time, mainly Kaprizov and Zuccarello, as well as a defenseman in Middleton in favor. As Jake Middleton deep in his own zone left wing corner to Husnudinov. Golfed along, 2-on-1 for the Wild if they can hustle. Trenyon threw it in front. Lauko a shot! And a kick save by Wolf, uncontested outside the goal crease.
Yeah, that's when he needed that goal, no question about it. Minnesota down by 2 right now with just under 11 minutes to go in the third.
Kuzmenko a left wing feed. Pospisil a long wrister, kicked out by Fleury. Trenyon jabbed the rebound free. Again, the Wild rushing ahead. Lauko pushing the pace over the blue line right side. All the way down low, trying to hook it in front. It careened around, grabbing it Bogosian. He'll feed it for Merrill's drive, and he missiled it wide. So they're pushing here. Halfway through the third are the hometown Wild. Down 3-1 as Bogosian carries along. Trenyon now drops it off. Merrill a shot. Blockered into the netting by Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, that shot got deflected into the netting. Merrill taking the final shot there, coming in there, and that'll give both teams a chance to get some fresh players back on the ice.
Boy, that second swipe by Kaprizov out of midair, Tom, baseball bat style. TV replays show that hit Wolf's left shoulder. I thought initially Kaprizov had bashed the rebound just high and wide. Wild win the faceoff. Boldy hammers it around. Spurgeon right point, fighting the puck a moment. Scoops it into the stands as he tried to scale it into the corner. And with 10:15 to go, another faceoff coming in Calgary ice.
Well, the 25th season of Minnesota Wild hockey is fast approaching, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. Place your deposit for priority playoff access, exclusive pricing, and much more when you join the Forever Wild member family. Learn more at wild.com/season.
Rossi and Kadri on the draw. Flames able to force it out to center. Hand pass on Minnesota. Halts action again.
And that's one thing Calgary wants is they want to slow it down as much as they can at this point. They don't want a lot of speed given to Minnesota. And Minnesota does not have a lot of time when they do get the puck. They've got defensive positions just getting right in front of the puck carrier for Minnesota.
Rossi, who had a goal and assist in the earlier meeting of the season series, wins this draw back from Kadri. Out on the left of Fleury. Huberdeau with it to the point. A hurried shot by Pahal, blocked out in front by the skates of Spurgeon. Kadri now trying to feed the point. Pahal, another hurry drive. Again, Spurgeon got his stick in that lane. The puck leaves the playing surface. Then another stoppage. 9:50 left. Still a 3-1 deficit for the Wild. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy. Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild Hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch the snappy chips.
Old Dutch, quality lives here.
Snappy Old Dutch potato chips.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
ScoreBoard update.
The finals in the National Hockey League. The Boston Bruins cruise past the Avalanche 3-1 in Boston. 3 points for David Pastrnak in the victory. Oilers slipped past the Sabres 3-2. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored a pair. And the Kraken beat the Penguins 4-1 in Seattle. Joey Daccord, 28 saves in the victory. Amongst the games in progress, Devils and Canadiens knotted at 3 apiece. Senators lead the Maple Leafs 2-1 in Ottawa. And the Stars Flyers still hold a 2-0 lead over St. Louis. 8:02 left to go in the third. That's it. Back to Joe and Tom.
And Joe, you go back to that last game that Minnesota lost in Calgary in the shootout. They gave up 2 power play goals in that one. They've given up 2 power play goals in this one again. And so the Flames have found the niche for scoring with the extra man against the Wild. Fleury just watching right now before the fail. He's stretching out all the time. He's always doing something on the ice to help his game.
Peltier off the draw for the Flames. Poke check by Foligno. Peltier holds in for a moment. Now it's Brock Faber to headman. Boldy crunches it rink wide. Flames just guiding it safely back out the center. Middleton battles against Kadri. Now Boldy just above his own blue line, feeding it to Faber. Swung back for Boldy. Knife to pass up ice for Foligno. Ricochets in. Wolf out with his goal stick. Slipped it along. Giveaway here. Foligno in the slot. Backhand, forehand. Lost it for a moment. Got it back. Barely kept the blue line, and now it's slapped out the center. Faber pivots. Resets and feeds it along Boldy. Charged in. Dropped it back for Faber. That was errant. And the Flames have numbers if they want it. It is Kuzmenko darting in. Spinning up with the puck. Andrei Kuzmenko dealt with beautifully by Middleton. He'll steer it back out to neutral ice. Anderson on a regroup. Punched it along. Middleton grabs it. Feathers it to Declan Chisholm. While finishing a line change here as Middleton takes over again. Nick Middleton turned 29 earlier this month. He'll now bolt off the ice as Chisholm, the 24-year-old, handles for the Wild. He'll pivot, wait a few moments, and slide it along where Spurgeon headmans. Ogren taps in. Back the Flames defense. Hanley started to break out along. Hartman stepped to it momentarily, and again, Calgary content to just soar it ahead.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of just getting the puck out of their zone as quickly as possible.
It'll be frustrating for the Wild. Down a pair, but Calgary defending very well here. Lomberg chisels his puck through center ice. Getting to it, racing in is Bishop. Bishop a shot, he scores. Clark Bishop beats Fleury high glove, and with 8:07 left, it is the first NHL goal for Clark Bishop. It's 4-1 Flames.
Yeah, a huge goal also. It really takes the sting out of Minnesota right now and gives the Flames that lead they're looking for to make it a 4-1 lead here right now. Minnesota's a hard time getting any good quality shots to the other end because the Flames have done a nice job of just shutting things down. As I said before, they also have picked up their game as of late. Look at the Flames coming into this one. In the last 7 games, they've won 5 of the 7, and they've scored 6 more goals than they've given up. Well, they've done a nice job here, scoring 3 more goals in Minnesota in this contest to take the lead 4-1. Face-off at center ice.
The first goal as a member of the Flames for Bishop. It's his second career NHL goal in game number 49 here tonight. So again, go back to it mentioned earlier. Kuzmenko opened the scoring, his third of the year. Pospisil put the Flames in front 2-1 late in the second, his third of the year. And the first of the year for Clark Bishop, and his first with the Flames.
For number 61, Clark Bishop, assisted by number 70, Ryan Lomberg. Time of the goal, 11:53.
Zuccarello charged in. He'll stay with it, working it to the point. Bogosian, now Merrill left side, snapped it rink wide. A hurried shot, fought off by Wolf as Zuccarello the one-timer. Zuccarello now wrestled in the corner, penalty call coming. Back at the point, Bogosian a drive, that's blocked. And there's the touch-up. And hobbled on that shot block. And in a lot of pain for the Flames is the big defenseman, Miromanov.
Calgary's got a minor a hold.
7:20 to go.
So with that, Minnesota go back on the power play once again here. The holding call made against Calgary, and that's going to be Coleman going to the penalty box on that one. So Minnesota gets another chance with the man advantage. We'll see if they can make something work here. Time of this penalty, 12 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wild had won 9 of 12 games this year after a multi-goal loss. They're down by 3 here, though, again. And for whatever reason, a lot of their lopsided defeats have been in this building. They've lost a handful of games by 3 or more goals at home already this season. They're in danger of falling game below 500, a place that used to be so difficult for opponents to have success. Boldy a drop pass as he carried in. That's stolen by Bishop, who lays it down.
Yeah, even having trouble with the man advantage, or having trouble getting in the offensive zone.
Spurgeon from right to left on your radio dial. Drops it back Kaprizov. Swung along Boldy. And there's another example. He just fumbled it away at center. And now the Flames with Huberdeau charging and cuts through the slot, and his wrister blocked by Spurgeon out of play.
Yeah, what a player Huberdeau turned into. Also, remember when that trade was made with Tkachuk coming from Florida to Calgary, I don't think he was very happy at that point, but he's now in his third year with this Calgary Flames, and certainly giving them a much-needed shot in the arm. He's had 4 game-winning goals this year, and he's just 23 games for him to score 900 games in the NHL. So he'll get there this year, but he can stay healthy.
70 seconds left on the Wild power play, but under 6.5 minutes left. The deficit at 3. Faber leaves it back. Rossi to Gaudreau. Onside, it's Hartman. Right wing board to the point. Faber takes the look. Smacked it to the goal line right side for Hartman. Bounce back to Faber. Patrols the blue line. Brock Faber finds Rossi. Left circle, a shot. Knocked down in front. Maybe hit Hartman on the way by. Hartman collects this puck. Turns it to Rossi. Shifted to Faber. Right back Rossi. Twisting it along, looking for Faber again. That was a little out of stride. Faber to gallop to it, and he played it back out to center ice incidentally. Ogren springs it ahead. Rossi charges in. Marco Rossi down low, turning out in front. Hartman a chance. Rebound and score! Freddie Gaudreau gets the Wild back within 2. It's a power play goal.
Well, there's always hope. Now you're down by 2, and there's plenty of time to go here with 5:45 remaining. But once again, the quick hands of Gaudreau makes it work for him as he goes by the bench and high-fiving everyone. Does a good job of getting to the front of the net there. Picks up the puck and just a quick turn with that and is able to find the opening right there. But Minnesota is doing the job getting the puck to the front of the net also, and that is key in this one. And Gaudreau makes no mistake on that one. I believe it's going to be Rossi making the first assist on that one. But this one coming at 14:15.
Well, I'll say it again. November 23rd, down by 2 in Calgary. With 4 minutes left, the Wild found a way to equalize things. They're down by 2 here with 5.5 minutes left. As Sharon Govich finds Kuzmenko. Wraparound bid, he scores. Andrei Kuzmenko having his best game as a Calgary Flame. He scores on a wraparound, and it is 5-2. I mean, they didn't even announce the goal by Gaudreau.
14 seconds.
And look at the line that Ryan Huska went to. Again, he juggled the lines last game. They get a 5-2 win. He didn't like what he saw during the game. They prevail. And the Sharon Govich, Pospisil, Kuzmenko line, I hate to say out of nowhere, but if you told me coming in that this would be the line to haunt the Wild tonight, would have told you you're crazy.
Yeah, you're right. 5 goals giving up in this building once again, too, and that does not sit well with anybody.
And it's amazing what a little bit of point production can do for a player. In this case, the Russian-born Andrei Kuzmenko. 28 years of age, part of the Elias Lindholm trade from a couple of years back, or last season, I should say. And again, he came up with 2 goals in 34 games. He's got 2 goals tonight. Shot blocked by Hustadinov. Trenyan trying to hit him on a home run pass. That goes awry. Out with his goal stick, Wolf. With under 5 minutes left. Kuzmenko lost it. Hustadinov dancing in front. And his drop pass goes errant. Tomorrow will be gut check time at United Center for the Wild, Tom.
Yeah, it really will be. Chicago's not a very good hockey club, but right now Minnesota's not playing very well right now as a team.
Coronado, a drop pass back on a wrister off the glove of Fleury. And Philip Gustafson's going to get the start. Pahal to the back post. That hit a body. Fleury had a scramble to make the save, and he dove to poke the rebound free to Boldy. Boldy cuts past the check at center and then got poke checked by Mackenzie Weegar. Coronado swings it back. Weegar to Pahal. Will hammer it out through center. Tips in.
Yeah, Calgary's done a great job at their own blue line also. They have not given Minnesota much of an opportunity to have good puck possession in that offensive zone.
Unless something changes drastically here, the Wild about to be outshot for the 9th straight game. And finished with under 30 shots for the 9th time in 10 games. They're just not getting a lot of shots, which makes it harder to score goals, quite frankly. And Captain Obvious has joined the broadcast. Middleton deep in his own zone. Banked it off his end boards. Here's Brock Faber. Faber surveys. Launches it ahead to Boldy. Boldy over the blue line. See if White's staring him down. He'll take a left circle wrister. Swallowed up by Wolf. Able to hang on. And then Boldy a frustrated chop at Pahal as the whistle halted play.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Frustration is what's playing in Minnesota's line right now. I just look at the bench down here, and they don't look very energetic at this point. They're down by 3 goals. Unfortunately, there's only 3:35 to go.
Timeout on the ice. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Attention Wild Hockey families. Elevate your game with elite performance hockey sticks from Hockey IQ. Based in the state of hockey, Hockey IQ delivers superior quality, cutting-edge technologies, and the most customization in the game. Most pros aren't playing retail sticks, so why would you? Join the Hockey IQ revolution. Skip those retail markups and dominate the ice. Get your Hockey IQ sticks today at hkyiq.com and use promo code WILD for 15% off your first order.
From snow and ice to road salt and sludge, Minnesota winters can be tough on your car. Get clean car happy no matter the forecast at Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Tidal Wave's industry-leading car wash gives your vehicle a fast, thorough clean to preserve your car's finish from the elements. Experience clean car shine worth cheering for at Tidal Wave Auto Spa, the state of hockey's car wash destination and proud car wash partner of the Minnesota Wild.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Traveling with the Minnesota Wild has never been easier. Introducing Wild Travel, a book seats experience, the official fan travel platform of your Minnesota Wild. It's your one-stop shop to bundle game tickets with flights and hotels, saving you up to 30%. With Wild Travel, you can customize your official Minnesota Wild package for any game and never worry about hidden fees. Plan your next trip today at bookseats.com. Wild Travel, a book seats experience.
3:35 to go here in the third period. Shots right now 28-19 in favor of the visitors. And also in favor of the visitors, they have a 5-2 lead. Face off deep in the Calgary zone.
Post-game flight to Winnipeg, not something that's usually on anybody's bucket list. The Flames have that joyride coming after this one, but they'll be a touch more positive if they can hang on and pick up the 2 points. It'll probably be a bit of a more somber vibe for the Wild heading to Chicago after this one. All right, Tom, what do you do in the last 3 minutes here to give yourself a little bit of positive vibes moving forward?
Well,
here's a steal. Hold on. Coronado in alone. It's a jailbreak. Coronado a shot. Glove save. Fleury.
Yeah. Fleury's been good. As many goals as he's given up, he's been good in this hockey game. Made another big save. Minnesota gave up the puck once again. Coronado just comes in here, tried the wrist shot, and look at Fleury, that quick left glove. Notice how far he went out to the end of that blue paint area to make that save. He's right at the edge there, makes a save on that one. That'll keep the face-off deep in the Minnesota zone as the officials put the net back in position.
All right, back to that thought. Can the Wild do anything? What can they do here in the last 3:02 to just feel a little bit better about themselves?
Well, score some goals. I mean, get some offense going here. They've had very little offense. Giving the puck away in the neutralized area again and results in the breakaway. Fortunately for them, Coronado was not able to score on that, but it's frustrating certainly for everyone on the bench. It's not that they're not thinking about not trying hard. It's just the execution sometimes is just not there.
Chisholm behind his own net, wheeled it along. Spurgeon with a pass. It deflects free for Freddie Gaudreau. Up ice for Ogren, charging in left circle. A shot that's trapped by Wolf. But 2:41 left now.
Well, you get a shot on net, but there's no one around. It's an easy save for a goaltender. There's nobody in front. Ogren does a nice job of getting that shot away. But right now, Calgary just wants to hang on to the puck, and they're going into Winnipeg tomorrow, and with a lot of confidence in their game.
Gaudreau and Kadri on the draw. 5-game road trip for the Wild looming. They will come home after tomorrow's affair in Chicago for a day on Monday in the Twin Cities, which will be a day off. They'll practice Tuesday, then hit the road for Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Boston in that order over 8 days. Kadri stops right circle, feathered one back. Pahal fanned on a shot. Liam Ogren says thank you very much. He'll skate ahead and connect with Ryan Hartman. Hartman goes back to Ogren over the blue line right wing boards. Ogren trickled past some trouble. Fed it to Merrill. Centered. A shot by Husnadinov. Stopped by Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, Husnadinov just standing right in front of the visiting goaltender. He's had not a bad game. He's got a little speed to his game. But Minnesota not able to capitalize once again, and so the face-off will take place in the defensive zone of Calgary. A lot of the patrons have left the building, have left their seats anyway. Minnesota down by 3 with just 3 ticks over 2 minutes to go in the third.
Coming in, both these teams really good in the first half of a back-to-back. The Wild 5-1-1. The Flames 4-1-0. Calgary, though, for whatever reason, really scuffling in the second of a back-to-back. 1-4-0. They'll have a tough test tomorrow in Winnipeg against the rested Jets. Wild in Chicago against the Taylor Hall-less Chicago Blackhawks. As Hall was part of that 3-team trade, Colorado, Carolina, and Chicago. The blockbuster portion being that Mikko Rantanen now plays for the Hurricanes. Marty Necas now with the Avs, and Hall also joining Carolina. Drop pass by Boldy. The Rossi a shot in front. They score! Foligno with a $1:14 left. Got to a favorable bounce. Ripped it upstairs. And the deficit back to 2.
Well, that's what it takes sometimes, something like that. Even, not just playing for this game. You think try and get your untracked game for tomorrow as well. But Foligno just right on the doorstep. They're able to take that one, take the rebound, and just fire it away. He wasted no time on that one. Sometimes you have to get the net. He was able to elude the attacker who was on his side of him.
Rossi shot tipped off a body, and boy, the end wall there, generous with that big kick off the dasher. Foligno down to one knee, buried it. So it's a 2-goal game again. Kaprizov trying to feed Boldy. Swept away and launched up ice. So here we see Boldy, Kaprizov, and Zuccarello with Eric Sinek and Faber. And now Fleury's going to go to the bench for the extra attacker, and Rossi's going to come out.
Yep.
Assist to number 23, Marco Rossi, and number 12, Matt Boldy. Time of the goal, 18:46.
So 5 forwards out and an empty net behind the Wild. Left for dead a couple of times in the third.
It can be done. It's been done before.
Eric Sinek on the draw against Backlund. Puck pushed along the boards. Kaprizov collects it. Fed the point Spurgeon, the lone defenseman out there. Zuccarello below the goal line. Kaprizov surveys. Tried to center. Ricochets around. Grabbed now by Boldy, right side. Cut into the corner. Popped it behind the net. Kaprizov spun off a hit. Kirill Kaprizov on his backhand. Lobbed it to Rossi. To the point Zuccarello. 45 seconds to go. Zuccarello on a give and go with Rossi. Fires a shot. It's blocked out the center.
Yep. Space is taken away there. You get a piece of it just on. That's all Calgary's trying to do, get it out of the defensive zone.
Spurgeon to Boldy, able to hack it in. Rossi chased 2.5 minutes left. Rossi threw it in front. Spurgeon stepped to a drive. They score! 27 seconds left, and it's 5-4.
Well, big shot by the defense and the captain also coming through, and that being a right-handed shot on the right side. The puck comes to him. He's able to find that opening. And of course, all-time defenseman scoring goals for the Minnesota Wild adds another one here right now coming in just in quite a ways out also. I'm not sure if the goaltender was screening that or not, but Spurgeon got everything into that he wanted. And with that, it's in the net. Did it hit somebody along the way, Joe? Did you notice if they hit a leg or not? But I don't care what it hits as long as it goes in the net. And it comes at 19 minutes and 33 seconds of the third.
So 2 goals in 47 seconds. The Wild use their timeout. Ryan Huska probably trying to be as calm as he can on the Flames bench, urging his team to settle down.
Yeah.
Remember, Rossi tied the game, Tom, in Calgary at 19:26 of the third period.
And, of course, we have 27.0 seconds remaining in the third period. I think also that when you look at the face-offs, Calgary's won 61% of the draws in this contest. and that's where the face-off is going to be, right at center ice.
Fleury will start at the hash marks. If the Wild get possession, you know he's headed right to the bench.
Yeah.
Eriksson, Boldy, Kaprizov, Spurgeon, and Zuccarello. Those that remain standing.
Can they do it?
Kadri and Eriksson on the center ice draw. 27 seconds left. Wild down 5-4. They win the faceoff back. There goes Fleury to the bench. Spurgeon hustles it in from the red line right side. Wolf directs traffic. Anderson back. Bottled up by Kaprizov. 17 seconds to go. Clearing attempt fail. Another chance here to the empty net. Missed wide. 10 seconds to go. Icing waved off. Peltier beat Zuccarello back. 7 seconds left. Peltier in the corner is going to rag some time. His centering feed's blocked. Zuccarello to rip it around the boards, but the Minnesota Wild are going to run out of time.
Yeah, and you got to look at the score tomorrow. You got to go, this was a close game, but, at the same time, it wasn't a close game. Minnesota coming in with a couple of late goals that made it that way, but Calgary Flames are going to be the victors in this one, and that's going to make their record a little bit better here in St. Paul, which right now Minnesota is 26, 18, and 10 in St. Paul, but unfortunately no points in this one, and Minnesota goes on to play against the Chicago Blackhawks tomorrow night in the Windy City.
So, the Flames hang on for dear life, and the Wild a game below 500 on home ice. 11, 12, and 1 in that department, 28, 17, and 4.